have come from Massillon and Middletown, from Cleveland and Columbus. They have come to show allegiance to the scarlet and gray of the Ohio State University Buckeyes. They have come from Brownsville and Dumas, from Seguin and Sonora. They have come here from El Paso and Houston, wearing the maroon and white of the beloved Texas A&M Aggies. They have come to Dallas, more than 75,000 of them, for the 51st annual Cotton Bowl Classic. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Vern Lundquist, and Happy New Year from all of us at CBS Sports. Welcome to the Cotton Bowl for this historic first postseason meeting between these two schools with such great football traditions. Back in the heat of mid-August, both of these teams had legitimate national championship aspirations. Ohio State was derailed rather quickly with back-to-back losses to Alabama and Washington, their worst start in 90 years. But they came back to win 9 in a row before losing by 2 to Michigan. Texas A&M fell off the track almost as quickly, losing a season opener to LSU, but they won 8 of their next 9, the only blemish a 3-point loss at Arkansas. Ohio State comes here as co-champs of the Big Ten. Texas A&M arrives again as champions of the Southwest Conference. These are 2 excellent football teams. I have been joined this afternoon by former Notre Dame head coach Ara Parseghian and former Southern Cal and Los Angeles Ram quarterback Pat Hayden. Ara, you've spent much of the season watching Ohio State. What is your impression of them offensively?
Well, since Earl Bruce has been at Buckeye Land, in a sense, basically an I-formation team, not overly complicated, but they strive for execution, error-free football, and certainly the turnover ratio is demonstration of the soundness of that philosophy. They have plus 22, which is really remarkable. The 2 key players offensively that make their team go is Jimmy Karsatos, a quarterback, an outstanding football player, and Chris Carter, who has 65 receptions. These 2 people will be important in this ballgame.
What about them gets your attention on defense?
Well, defensively, they're basically a 3-4-4. Most of the college teams are using it. It's bend but don't break, and certainly they give a lot of yardage in between the 20s. But when their goal line is challenged, they're only giving up 15 points a game, which is very good. The 2 key players that'll be important, I think, Chris Spielman, their inside linebacker, All-American, Eric Kummerow, their sack leader at the outside backer.
Patrick Hayden has spent most of the last month minutely examining Texas A&M. What impresses you about the Aggies, Pat?
Well, they are entertaining in offense. They average 440 yards a game in offense, and philosophically what they're trying to do is spread the defense out, make you defend the entire 53-yard width of the field, and then they try to create matchups by using a lot of different formations. Today they want to get Ron Bernstein, their tight end, and Keith Woodside, the halfback, one-on-one on linebackers and strong safeties. These 2 have caught 117 passes between them from Kevin Murray. So all those shifts and all those things create some problems for defenses.
Anything about them defensively that gets your fancy?
Well, they play a base 34 as well, but they like to come after you. A lot of strong safety blitz.
This really ought to be a very exciting and entertaining matchup. Ohio State and Texas A&M will return to the Cotton Bowl in Dallas right after this. There's a familiar sound, the fight song of the Ohio State University. Earl Bruce and the Buckeyes are here. Jackie Sherrill and the Aggies are here. Our man Pat O'Brien is here. Let's go down to him right now. Happy New Year, Patrick.
Thank you, Vern. Happy New Year to you. You know, one of the things about a bowl game are distractions, and perhaps the biggest distraction for Texas A&M this week was speculation that Jackie Sherrill would take the job at Alabama, vacated by Ray Perkins. Now, indeed, officials at Alabama told me yesterday that Jackie Sherrill was very high on their list. This morning, we have learned that some Alabama people called Jackie Sherrill. Shortly after that phone call, I met with Sherrill for about a half an hour. He told me he told them no. He has also told his team he is staying at Texas A&M. Sherrill told me that the Alabama job simply isn't as good as the Texas A&M job. Now, depending on who you talk to, there are still a group of people who say that Jackie Sherrill will end up at Alabama. But as for the pregame anyway, Sherrill says he's staying at Texas A&M. Let's go back upstairs.
All right, Pat, and of course Jackie Sherrill has his team in the Cotton Bowl for the 2nd consecutive year, something that the Aggies have desired for a century. And moments ago, Jackie Sherrill spoke with his Texas A&M football team in the locker room.
The rumination you've had to get here, it's not easy to repeat. You've earned the right to be here, and it's not easy to repeat. And everybody, you're the champion of the Cotton Bowl until we finish this ball game. And you'll be the champion until the next year, if you do the things inside. It's like in this conference. We had the character to continue. No question about the inside strength of everybody in this football team. And you go back and you look at each one of you, and you look at the feelings that you have for each other. And when you play a game, it's not one individual, it's everybody. And I'm talking about everybody on the football team. Whether if you play one down, that's your role, that's your responsibility. You play 60 of them or 80 of them, or you don't play at all. We're all together.
That was Jackie Sherrill just moments ago. On 50 previous afternoons such as this, great teams and great stars have stood nervously on this very same ramp. Teams like Alabama and Penn State and Nebraska and Notre Dame. 38 visiting teams in all. Men like Sammy Baugh and Doak Walker and Jim Brown and Roger Staubach. But until today, until this moment, no team from the Big Ten has ever been on this field on New Year's Day. And so for the first time in Cotton Bowl Classic history, with a crowd of 75,000 urging them on, here come the Buckeyes of the Ohio State University. Previous half century, only one Southwest Conference team has captured back-to-back Cotton Bowl titles. That was Darrell Royal's Texas teams of 69 and 70. So now, attempting to accomplish what has been done only once before by a Southwest Conference champions, the champions this year of the Southwest Conference, the Aggies of Texas A&M University and their head coach, Jackie Sherrill. His career record in bowl games going back to his head coaching days is Pittsburgh, 5-1. And I don't know how anybody could want to be anywhere at where we are right now. This is terrific. Era, what do you see as the key to this ball game?
Well, I think it's the Ohio State Buckeye defensive football team. The Aggies have been just unbelievable offensively. They've set every record there is, both individually and collectively as a team. It's remarkable. And that just didn't happen by chance. Good coaching, good players. So the question is, can Spielman stop Vick? Can Kummerow get to Murray? And, of course, can the Buckeyes slow down this great offensive football team?
Patrick, would you concur?
Well, I would agree, but as good as A&M is in offense, they have a lot of tendencies. In 3rd and 4 or more, they throw the ball 90% of the time. So Ohio State will use more 5 and 6 defensive backs than they have all season long. How well their nickel defense plays against the tight end, Bernstein, and Woodside, the halfback, I think is the key.
Well, I would agree. I'll make it 3 for 3. I think the defense of Ohio State is the key. Earl Bruce has not been happy with his defense the last half of the season. We're about ready for the coin toss at the center of the field. The seniors and the teams meeting there. We'll be back in Dallas right after this. Okay. And now one of the great college songs in the country, The Spirit of Aggie Land from Texas A&M University. That song written by an A&M student while keeping watch on the Rhine in World War I. One of the great traditions of Texas A&M. Well, we have a young man who knows a little bit about those traditions. As a matter of fact, before he got concerned about the vagaries of network television, he was once the host of the Jackie Sherrill Show. That's while he was at the University of Houston. Here's Jim Nance.
All right, Vern, you know, if there's one thing I remember back from the fall of 1982, that year working with Jackie Sherrill, the lasting impression was the Texas A&M fans. They might be the most active or vocal fans in all of college football. You know, last night they held a midnight yell practice. Some 30,000 fans gathered for that event. It is not a pep rally, but literally a yell practice, a ritual that takes place prior to all A&M home games. And the practice is just what it says. They get together and rehearse all of the game yells and songs that'll be performed in the game the next day. Now, all Aggies in good standing are expected to have those memorized come game time. One other tradition that we'll see throughout the day today, Aggie students will stand through the duration of the game. The only time they'll give their feet a rest is when the Ohio State Marching Band performs at halftime. We're about ready to get this one underway, so let's go back upstairs.
All right, Jim, stay warm. It's a little bit nippy today. The temperature is 51 degrees. The wind could be important. It comes out of the north at 13 miles per hour. Humidity 52% of the forecast sunny. And the games have begun to be played because A&M won the coin toss. They deferred their option till the second half. That left the option up to Ohio State. Earl Bruce said, "We will take the wind." So Earl Bruce's team will kick off with the wind behind them, and the Aggies will return.
I did that on many occasions, Vern, because I felt early in the game when your team's a little bit nervous, I'd rather have the opposition go 80 yards if I can put it in the end zone. But again, you're going against the number 3 offensive team in the nation.
If you believe in your defense, it's a good call.
Freshman Pat O'Morrow will kick off for Ohio State. He was the regular field goal kicker for the Buckeyes until midseason when he lost that job to Matt France, and Rod Harris, averaging 18.8 yards per return, will receive for Texas A&M. Sophomore from Dallas. Referee today is Jim Garvey, and we're just about set. Garvey joined by Ron Klages, Bill Cronin, Jerry Height, Joe Shirk, Joe Klingensmith, and Mike Donato. They are members of the Collegiate Independent Football Officials Association. O'Morrow, a freshman from Radford, Virginia. And for the first time in Cotton Bowl Classic history, a member of the Big Ten is a visiting team. Rod Harris at the 1. To the 21, where he is filled by the Ohio State Buckeyes, Sonny Gordon, number 7, defensive co-captain. Now, let's meet the A&M offense.
Well, the backfield is very difficult to defend because of different types of weapons. Murray, the quick thrower. Roger Vick, 220 pounds, right up the middle. Woodside, a tremendous receiver, 52 receptions. And, of course, Bernstein, the tight end, likes to work the middle. Tony Thompson filling in for Rod Harris today. Walker, very good on corner routes.
First down 10, Kevin Murray, player of the year in the Southwest Conference. And this team averages 440.2. Murray will throw into the wind on first down. Left side incomplete. Intended for Keith Woodside, who has caught 52 passes out of the backfield this year. How about the offensive line?
It's a real good unit, Vern. They are big enough to pass protect big tackles. They can push those defensive ends right past the cornerback. And they're also big enough really to match up, go hat against hat, open up some big holes for Vick, the big 220-pound fullback. As you look at the size, watch Marshall Land, 340 pounds. Largest man in college football.
He's down from 370. Refrigerator could take a lesson. Second down and 10. And again, Murray will throw a little flip right side to Rod Bernstein, number 29, who is the leading pass receiver for the Aggies with 65 catches this year. The tackle made by the All-American Chris Spielman.
We talked a little bit about Marshall Land, 340 pounds, but watch how good his feet are. And watch how he pushes the defensive back and the defensive man right inside. He knows it's a screen to his outside. He pushes 14, come row to the inside. That's a good block, but good reaction by the Ohio State defense.
He had his hand on him. Didn't he have a little holding there? Didn't need to at 340.
Kevin Murray, a year ago, MVP here with 292 yards, faces a 3rd and 12. Opening sequence of the ball game. Blitz is coming. They'll do that all day, and Bernstein burns them. All the way to the 43. It's a gambling defensive scheme that Earl Bruce has decided upon today.
Well, the history of Ohio State is not a blitzing type of football team. But in this case, they try, and right off the bat, you see that Bernstein takes advantage of it, and they hit him one-on-one right now.
That is a gain of 23.
And Kevin Murray did a sensational job off the rush. He felt the blitz, and he actually threw this off his back foot. You see that? Big rush there. Read the blitz beautifully, and that's one of the matchups we talked about. Bernstein against the nickel defense of Ohio State.
First down and 10, Texas A&M from the 43. And off Roger Vick. Across midfield to the Ohio State 47, tackle made by David Brown.
Going to number 43, Roger Vick. Carries to the Ohio State 14.
Chris Spielman, he is one of the key factors, as Eric Parsegan said at the top of the show. Now, he gets rid of a lot of players early, but here he gets tied up inside by actually his own man, and Roger Vick just read his tackles block Lewis Cheek on the left-hand side, and Vick is a great inside runner from tackle to tackle. Spielman got caught up in traffic.
13 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Good A&M drive thus far. Bernstein in motion and Murray to throw. Five-man rush across the middle and incomplete. Flag is thrown. Michael Kee, number 30, defending.
Called interference on Kee.
There is a flag down on the play.
Here's Jim Garvey. Now, Eric, introduce us to this Ohio State defense.
Well, it's a very young defensive football team. The three down people, there's only one senior in there. And, of course, they're a football team that the strength of this ball club, there's the only senior right there, is in their linebackers. Kummerow, the leading sack man at the outside backer. All-American Chris Spielman, who's a great player. Michael Kee, who just had that interference call, is the only senior in that group. Derek Eisman, the other outside linebacker, who's intercepted 3 passes. And in the secondary, you've got, this is probably the most underrated secondary. They've picked off 18 passes during the course of the year. And the key is Sonny Gordon, who's had 6 of them, and is the number 2 tackler on the Ohio State Buckeye defensive team.
Sonny Leach, a linebacker, number 8, has come in for Ohio State. See if that changes their defensive scheme now. And off to Roger Vick. First down, A&M at the 32. Scott Leach made the tackle.
We have seen A&M come out here on this opening drive, Vern, and use about 4 or 5 different formations. Again, that's what they're trying to do. They get your defense thinking about formations, and then they hammer Roger Vick right at you at 220 pounds. And unless the defensive line, the down 3 from Ohio State, can hold up, you're going to see a lot of Roger Vick.
No score, 12:40 remaining first quarter, and the Aggies have a first down at the Ohio State 32-yard line. Roger Vick again, big hold of the 25. Eric Kummerow, number 14, catches up with him, but Vick is finding a lot of room to run up that soft middle.
We talked about all the offensive sets. They've used some motion. They've spread the defense out. Here's the second play of the game. You're going to see a man coming across the backfield, again trying to create defensive adjustments. The third play, you see them spread out. They're spreading the entire width of the football field. And in the last formation, they spread the tight end out in the slot formation.
And here's a quick pitch to Roger Vick. Does a high hurdle and is inside the 20 to the 19. Another Aggie first down. Kummerow and Brown with the tackle.
You can understand why Vick has 960 yards coming into this football game. He's their tailback, really, even though he's named as a fullback. He's a single back there. Big and strong and tremendous speed and a great career here at the Aggie land.
960 this year and a career total of better than 2,400 yards for Texas A&M. Murray threw early on first down without success. Now he's kept it on the ground. It's first and 10 at the 19. He'll throw again. Good job of looking off the play, but he throws into double coverage on the right side. The pass intended for Keith Woodside. And Jackie Sherrill on the sideline.
What A&M likes to do inside the 20-yard line is run men in motion, particularly their flanker, and try to get those matchups with the change in formations. The flanker back, Tony Thompson, is a favorite receiver down here, and again, the tight end, Bernstein.
From the eye this time on 2nd and 10. Pitch out, Woodside. Breaks the tackle. Spins out of another. It'll be at the 15-yard line. Third down coming up.
Well, I think he put a move on Spielman that time. It looked like Spielman was going to step right in there and make that play for no gain, and he really put a move on him.
play by number 27, David Brown.
Watch Chris Spielman.
Take a look at him right here. Spielman's lined up at that inside linebacker. He looks like he's wiping off. He did get knocked down. I guess he got blocked. I guess it was another defender in there that made him really miss.
3rd down and 5. Bernstein in motion. Murray looks his way, fires it toward him. Incomplete. Had him there and threw it too high.
A&M got just the matchup we wanted. They had Tony Thompson in motion there, and number 29, Bernstein, right there. See the blitz? See the blitz in the corner side there? Right against the defensive back, number 3, Sean Bell was open. Murray threw it a little bit earlier than he had to.
What's this we? You got a mouse in your pocket?
I think I've heard that before.
I had that last time.
I thought you went to Southern Cal. Here's Scott Slater, 100 points this year as a place kicker in the Southwest Conference, and he gets it, the former walk-on. The sophomore from Fort Worth gets his 22nd field goal this year, and the Aggies have an early lead. Perhaps a record crowd gathered in the sunshine on the first day of 1987 at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. Aggies have a 3-0 lead, an impressive drive, and now another of the traditions at Texas A&M, this one more recent. The 12th man is on the field. These 12 are recruited from the student body. They are all non-scholarship players. They usually perform only at home games, but they do make this one road trip when A&M plays in the Cotton Bowl. This was an idea Jackie Sherrill came up with after meeting some of the students at a bonfire prior to a Texas game.
Impressive opening drive there by A&M, and what I liked about that, Vern, is they ran on passing downs and passed on running downs. They had a couple of second and shorts where they threw the ball downfield.
And also they had open receivers. Bernstein was open and dropped the ball, and what would have been a touchdown.
I was surprised to see Ohio State blitz right there.
That's not their history. They've been basically a zone team, but they decided to stop this offense, which is really a devastating one. They had to take some chances, and they were burned in that drive.
Scott Slater kicks off for the Aggies. The deep men are Everett Ross, number 5, and Jamie Holland, number 6. Squib kick picked up at the 23, and they come right, and what a collision at the 28. And there's an example of this enthusiasm by these 12 non-scholarship players. Actually, 10 on the field. I'm thinking 12 men.
Middleton, right there in the middle of your screen, he is the captain of the 12th man. And I tell you, he had goosebumps the other day when I was talking to him about this. He gave everything he has. This whole team does. It means an awful lot. Now it gives their defense some enthusiasm as well.
Tackle was made by number 9, Ronnie Glenn. Here comes Ohio State. They've had big first quarters throughout the year. Jim Karsatos with his backs in the eye. George Cooper and Vince Workman, the sophomore. And Karsatos will throw. Left side. Pass is complete. Chris Carter, the All-American wide receiver, is knocked out of bounds by Jamie Flowers, number 15. Now, let's meet the Ohio State offense.
Well, this is a very balanced offensive football team. Unlike the teams of past Buckeyes where they ran the ball more often than they passed it, now they're about a 50-50 team. Vince Workman right there has had 3 consecutive 100-yard games. He's the runner. The passer, of course, is Karsatos. And the great receiver is Chris Carter, 65 receptions, 27 career touchdown passes.
Makes the catch on first down. It'll be 2nd down and 3. 3-0 A&M leads. Jamie Holland is the motion man. The option play, a late pitch. They work it left and up the sidelines and out of bounds with the first Ohio State first down is Vince Workman, the sophomore, number 42. Tackle made by Larry Kelm. Now the Ohio State offensive line, Eric.
Well, I think Earl Bruce is to be complimented for taking a very young offensive line. 4 of them will return. 2 of them sophomores, 1 freshman. The anchor, of course, is Bob Maggs, 2-time All-Big Ten center, really a great football player, but the rest of them will be back, and I think they've done an unusually fine job considering their youth.
1st and 10, Buckeyes. They've got the ball at the 40, trailing 3-0. Nate Harris is the motion man, and Karsatos hands it off. Vince Workman, number 42. Todd Howard, number 73, makes the tackle for Texas A&M. How about this Aggie defense?
Well, the down 3 really are undersized. And one of the keys today, this Ohio State has a big offensive line. Can these down 3 hold up? The strength really in this defense is the linebackers. Steve Bullitt on one outside, but Johnny Holland, the All-American on the inside, much like Chris Spielman, can chase plays down from behind, has that kind of speed.
No gain on the last play, second down and 10, Ohio State. Two-step drop, drill left side, completed. Jamie Holland, nope, incomplete.
They had a double, excuse me, Vern, they had a double on Carter. You could see Karsatos immediately went to the left side. You see, he had a one-on-one on these. You'll see Carter down here where he's doubled, right here. And, of course, they immediately try to go to the flanker back. Karsatos throwing away from the double coverage. Right there, but apparently he dropped the ball.
Well, Nate Harris, the off receiver from Chris Carter, ought to catch an awful lot of balls with all the double coverage that Carter gets.
Third and 10. Play fake. And Karsatos goes deep with time and the wind. It's caught. Nate Harris to the 7.
You get overly concerned with a great receiver like Chris Carter, and you single coverage Nate Harris, which has tremendous speed. You'll see Karsatos lays that ball beautifully as Harris goes to the post and then to the flag right there. Karsatos throws a beautiful pass, and Kip Corrington finally gets him down with help from Flowers.
I want to tell you what, Erod, nobody could have thrown that ball. That was a frozen rope. He was well covered, actually, but he let in just enough to get behind the secondary. And as I was saying, if Carter's going to get double-teamed, Nate Harris has to be featured.
Well, come on, Pat. You could have thrown one like that.
I doubt that. I doubt that.
9 minutes to go, first quarter. Workman works left, wiggles through for a couple to the 5-yard line. The tackle made by Kip Corrington, and a flag is down on the near side. That was an impressive 51-yard toss from Karsatos to Nate Harris. Procedure call now against Ohio State.
Now, one of the things that Ohio State has done in this opening drive era is move Nate Harris around in motion. And one of the things that is doing is keeping the strong safety from A&M from blitzing. And that's one of the things A&M wanted to do.
Here you'll see Harris lined up right here, and he's going to come down and weave in. They're in double coverage, you see back here. And the open area is the seam right there.
Watch the play fake now from Karsatos that momentarily throws a short coverage.
He gets behind the cornerback right there, and as Pat pointed out so well, that was a beautiful throw.
Double tight end set now for Ohio State, and they will go with a straight T backfield. You've seen this before this year.
The old Button, the old robust is what he used to call it. They're just going to power it. They run the option off of this, too.
Jim Bryant is number 41. He's joined the backfield. There's the option. And Karsatos keeps to the 10-yard line.
Well, they were working with very little area there. They figured that the Aggies would defend the field, and they went to the short side of the field, but the Aggies were up to it and responded well.
I'll tell you, for a guy who seems to get a lot of press for negative personal image, Earl Bruce looks a little dapper.
Looks like Tom Landry, doesn't he, with that hat?
He sure does.
He looks like Ditka now. I mean, with his same haberdasher.
He's quieter than Ditka.
I want to know how much he paid for that suit.
Second down and 10. Jim Karsatos, fifth-year senior. Two-step drop, lob pass, right side. Carter, intercepted. Chet Brooks playing before a hometown crowd. They tried to underthrow Carter where he's so dangerous, but they didn't count on Chet Brooks being there.
Now, one of the problems that Jim Karsatos has had this year, he has forced the ball to Chris Carter, and you have a tendency to do that as a quarterback when you have so much confidence in the receiver. Number 30 is a strong safety, just going to lay off to the inside, and Chet Brooks is playing the outside. Now, again, it's underthrown. They expect Carter to use his 6'3" height to go up and get it, but that's a well-defense team. Chet Brooks is there to make the easy interception.
So the first turnover of the game goes Texas A&M's way, and they still lead by 3. We're back in the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. The first turnover goes the way of Texas A&M. Era?
Well, you'll see one-on-one coverage on Carter. Karsatos tried to take advantage of that. He breaks out, but it is Karsatos' throw that he had a great one when he threw it to Harris, but this time he definitely underthrows the ball. You'll see Carter turns to the outside. He's got a step there on Brooks. but the ball is way underthrown, and you got to remember that Carter can go straight up in the air with one of the greatest jump reaches I've ever seen.
Again, when I think you're trying to throw that kind of pass, I think you need to throw that against bump and run coverage, not when a defensive back is 4 yards off the ball.
See that Auburn is leading Southern Cal by 7. Now the Aggies have the ball for the second time in this game. 7:56 to go first quarter, and they lead it by 3. Hand off to Roger Vick again, and he's out to the 22-yard line before he runs into Michael Kee. Now let's go down to Pat O'Brien.
All right, Vern, thank you. Standing with Archie Griffin, who has not one but 2 Heisman trophies. Happy New Year to you. What do you think of the matchup today?
Well, I think it's a good matchup. I think we match up pretty evenly. Both offenses will move the football, and unfortunately, our Ohio State Buckeyes didn't get it done, put it in the end zone just this past series.
Notice they're wearing your red shoes today.
Yeah, this is not the first time we've worn red shoes at Ohio State. I can remember back when I played, 1972 and 73, we wore red shoes.
And you were a great one. Thank you. Let's go back upstairs.
Roger Vick bounces off a tackle. What a terrific effort. And he's got another A&M first down at the 31. David Brown and Greg Rogan collaborate for the tackle.
You cannot arm tackle Roger Vick. He's just too strong. Now, he comes inside. They shut it down very well. There's a couple of players there that he spins and just bounces outside. You've got to get 2 or 3 guys with their arms around him to bring him down. No arm tackling Roger Vick.
They're the red shoes. We'll vote. You like them? You don't like them?
I like him. They're good.
I don't like them.
Okay,
I don't like them. I'm the old coach.
No, it's 1-2. I'll go against the red shoes as well. I think they'd be great on the ballet stage. Here's the pitch out. Woodside to the 32. Actually, you saw those red shoes in the Rose Bowl, I guess, Pat.
Well, Archie Griffin, unfortunately, used them quite effectively against USC in 2 Rose Bowls that I played against Archie.
Well, it's always a treat for us to be here, and we miss one of our colleagues, Lindsey Nelson, who is back home in Tennessee, watching this game on television for the first time in 26 years. Lindsey, who broadcast 25 straight telecasts for CBS. And Lindsey, we're thinking about you, and we wish you well. What a catch by Bernstein, and it's the first tackle that is missing for Ohio State now. They're not getting that initial hit.
You forget how big Bernstein is. He's 230 pounds. He used to be a running back. And so just defending him against the pass is just one problem. After he catches the ball, and it's well defensed, the corner, you're going to see Rogan right there, is there to put the play on him, but he can't make the stop. And this is what A&M has done all year. They turn 5-yard passes into 20-yard gains.
Bernstein, a senior from Bryan, only in his second year as a tight end. He caught 6 in the Cotton Bowl a year ago. Pitch out. Woodside. I wonder which of us is going to be the first to refer to that combination as Woodward and Bernstein instead of Woodside.
Washington Post boys, yeah.
Take another look here at Spielman, how he goes through the garbage in a sense. This is what Jackie Sherrill said. He makes people miss and steps in to help. He managed to avoid most of the blockers. He steps around them, behind them, and that's why he's been such a great linebacker. You don't have to take on the blockers, just avoid them.
Second down and 8. Texas A&M with a 3-0 lead. Left side, it's Woodside again. Tries a little juke, and it doesn't work for much. He gets to the 40, where it'll be 3rd and 2, and William White, number 37, makes the tackle.
But, Vern, you see how difficult they are to defend. We've seen Roger Vick up the middle. We've seen some short passes to Bernstein. Then we see Vick, when you stop him in the middle, bounce the ball outside for a big play.
3rd and 2. A&M leads, and the player has been helped off the field. Derek Eisenman, number 10, has left the field for Ohio State and was assisted off by trainers. There's Eisenman.
The other thing that impresses me, Vern, is the quickness with which Roger Vick gets started. He starts to hold and still breaks to the outside. That play was designed to run inside, and he just breaks it right to the outside.
3rd and 2. They come to the boundary side, the short side of the field, and it is stuffed. Roger Vick, and the tackle made by Greg Rogan and Mike McCray.
Well, good job of defense. Good support by the Buckeyes. Responded well at 4th down.
And Arrow, what A&M is trying to do is stretch the defense out here and then run the pitch into the short side of the field. They anticipated a strong side slant to the wide side, but Ohio State switched up and slanted to the boundary, and that's why there was the loss.
And instead of, well, they'll shift into the punt formation now. They do that because Craig Stump, the punter, is also the backup quarterback for Texas A&M. This may be one of the few ball games you'll see where both backup quarterbacks are the first-team punters. There's Stump's kick into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback back to the 20-yard line. The Aggies have moved the ball well, but they have only a field goal to show for it with 4:04 to go first quarter. Here's a Cotton Bowl memory for you. 1946, the Longhorns' Bobby Lane from Texas. He ran for 3 touchdowns that day. He threw for 2. He kicked 4 extra points, and he even caught a touchdown pass. Bobby Lane was responsible for all 40 Texas points in that win over Missouri. He passed away just a few weeks ago at the age of 59, and he is very much missed by all of us, and our thoughts go out to his widow, Carol, in Lubbock, Texas. Texas A&M leading Ohio State 3-0. And now the Buckeyes have the ball for the second time. They will operate out of the I with Workman and Cooper behind Jim Karsatos. Play fake again. Karsatos in trouble. That hasn't happened to Ohio State that much this year.
They have only been sacked 10 times there, I think, in 295 pass attempts.
Well, R.C. Slocum, the defensive coordinator, felt that they could put the pressure on. This is the tailback action, but they bring 4 men from one side. You see the linebacker wiping off to the right side here. Karsatos cannot squeeze through, and Sadler 99 right there puts him down.
Arrow, one of the things I don't like is so much play-action fakes because the quarterback never sees the oncoming rush. His back is always to the rush. That's what Ohio State does. Too much play-action fakes.
Particularly away from that split inside, where there's a short route to get to him.
Now they take the tight end out and will go with 3 wide receivers, but they're going to have to hurry to get the play off before the 25-second clock. They do. Flood the left side, passes out, almost intercepted. Oh, mercy.
Oh, that's a nice play.
James Flowers, who leads this team in interceptions, number 15.
What Ohio State is trying to do is much like A&M, stretch the field out. You see all the receivers out, force them to play wide defense and then throw the quick out pass. But you see the rotation up at the top of the screen and pretty good coverage there by Flowers, number 15, as he reads the quarterback, backs off, and then drives on the ball to knock it down. That's good defense. I like that.
Aggies bring in a 5th defensive back, Jeff Hawley, number 2. Karsatos wants timeout. Will ignite the yell leaders and the Aggies. 3:10 remaining first quarter. A Scott Slater field goal is the only scoring thus far. Scott Slater's A&M field goal has given the Aggies a 3-0 lead. 3:10 to go first quarter. This is just the beginning of an exciting holiday weekend for you on CBS. Coming up on the NFL Today Saturday, Jim McMahon will be there live. Bobby Beathard will talk about the Redskin injuries as they head into the playoff game, and Terry Bradshaw joins Brent Musburger. That's at 3:30 Eastern Time on Saturday from Chicago. Then on Sunday, the NFL Today, we'll have Bill Walsh's game plan. Irv and Will, that's as in Cross and McDonough, will report from the field, and Brent will be joined by Dick Vermeil with the start time of 12 o'clock Eastern. The NFL Today, preceding our playoff games, coming up this weekend on CBS Sports. I'm Vern Lundquist with Ara Parsegian and Pat Hayden here at the Cotton Bowl, and on the sidelines, a baby-faced junior named Tom Tupa.
And he's a man that Earl Bruce said they may very well play the second quarter for the Buckeyes. Played real well. You've seen him a lot this year, Eric.
I was very much impressed. He stepped in when Karsatos got hurt in the Wisconsin game. I'll guarantee you, he is a tremendous football player.
Earl Bruce said he might use it. His initial plan is to use him in the second quarter. It's 3rd and 17. 5-man rush. Karsatos gets rid of it. That's up for grabs.
Oh, man.
There's Chris Carter with that 38-inch vertical leap.
That's exactly what I was talking about. He was covered well. The ball was thrown up. This time he had a chance to go up and take it away. I've seen him do it I don't know how many times. That's why he has 27 career touchdowns. And you see right here, Karsatos does a good job of avoiding getting sacked. Throws the ball off balance. Now watch Carter. As he goes up, look at his hands above both defenders. Flowers, number 15 there, and Corrington, both of them shorter than Carter.
Johnny Holland, number 11, from the inside, didn't get to Karsatos in time.
1st and 10 from the 46 after converting the 3rd and 17. That last play to Chris Carter. Flags are down.
Flags are down. The 4th snap of the ball.
They got Jamie Holland in there now.
That's a motion call, a legal procedure against Ohio State.
There's Chris Carter right here. He'll come down and weave right in between these two. But the important thing is Karsatos here was able to avoid getting sacked. He's getting a lot of pressure right there. Holland, the last one. There it is, between the two defenders, and watch him go up and get it.
But, Arrow, what I didn't like, though, was the play-action fake again. It didn't give Karsatos really enough time. He had to scramble up into the pocket.
How about the results?
I like the results. I like the results.
First and 15, 2:20 to go. First quarter, 3-0, A&M leads. Quick pitch out to the right side. Nate Harris makes the grab, but that's just a gain of a couple. Jimmy Karsatos just graduated December 12th from Ohio State. Graduated with a degree in communications, as a matter of fact. Says he's going to take a vacation in Acapulco after this game and then either play pro ball or try and find a job in this goofy business.
I hope he comes back from Acapulco. I'll tell you what, you can stay down there for a while.
Yeah, that's right. Karsatos is one of 4 Ohio State seniors who graduated in the fall, so he's an alumnus. He's got a right to criticize the coach.
He got Carter singled here.
Second down, Karsatos. Screen pass, left side. Nicely set up. George Cooper, the fullback, to the A&M 46.
Vern, you made a good comment there. It was beautifully set up, but the blocking didn't take place. Cooper did do a nice job of running. You see Cooper, number 44, slide out. Karsatos flips it off very nicely. It looks like a screen to the right. Then he turns back. Nice blocking out. There's Maggs, number 71. He does do a job of getting the block. And finally, Cooper is brought down in there by Kell, number 65.
You know, the Ohio State offense using George Cooper, the fullback, I think is a very good ploy because he's a man that's often overlooked.
That's right. They don't give him the ball very often.
Now a double tight end set up on 3rd down and 2 for Ohio State. John Hutchinson, the extra tight end, is in motion. They'll come right, cut back left. Workman, first down at the 39. Nifty little move.
Well, he did a really nice job of once he got past the line of scrimmage and cut back. That was very good eyes by Workman.
I tell you, he's an underrated running back. The last 3 games that he played in, he had over 100 yards. That includes the University of Michigan with that big 46-yarder. And against Wisconsin, he had 170-some yards. You can see that he's an almost a 1,000-yard getter also.
Had problems earlier this year fumbling and was benched for Jim Bryant. He started out the season operating with John Woolridge. Alternating rather, and Woolridge went out with a knee injury against Alabama. Here's Karsatos looking deep and firing that way, and he's got a man wide open. Jamie Holland, who's got super speed. A senior who hadn't led it until this year.
Holland has run a 10.28, 100 meters. He's right here, and he just speeds right down the slot. Got him off the field there. Right down the sideline to get him back in the ball game here. But anyway, you'll see the speed as he runs right by the corner. Oh, he's by him right now. He's wide open. Karsatos sees it. Boom, he hits him almost underthrown.
38-yard pass, first and goal. And the double tight end set up now for Ohio State. And the first quarter is going to come to a close prior to the snap of the play. Jamie Holland, just a squad man from Wake Forest, North Carolina. That is a 38-yard gain to give the Buckeyes a first and goal. And we'll be right back after this message and a word from your local station. Happy New Year from all of us at CBS. We're in Dallas, Texas for the 51st annual Cotton Bowl Classic. The Aggies lead 3-0, but A&M now in trouble as we look at the last Ohio State play. Pat?
Here's what happened. Here is Jamie Holland. He is receiver. Now, these 2 men are going to cover him inside and outside. But when he takes off, the tight end runs this route up here. The safety gets attracted by him, falls in. That leaves Holland open for the big play.
So the key here is the play of the safety.
Watch him react. He steps right there for the tight end, and then it clears Holland for the big play right there.
38-yard gain to the 1. Ohio State has the ball. First and goal. Trailing by 3. Vern Lundquist, Pat Hayden, Ara Parseghian, Pat O'Brien, and Jim Nance will be along at halftime. Temperature in the lower 50s and a very brisk breeze out of the north. And here come the Buckeyes. Double tight end set, and a motion to the left side. excellent defensive surge led by Kip Corrington, number 10.
Boy, was that. There was a lot of penetration on the right side. Looked like it might develop into a touchdown play, but then it closed down immediately. Good defensive response. Watch the line surge right here in the penetration they get. Here's Cooper trying to make a block. He's completely neutralized in there. Cooper is about 246 or 48 and is moved backwards.
Second down. Jim Bryant is in the lineup now. Number 41, straight T.
Look for the option here.
Option play. Karsatos. Nice decision by Karsatos. Touchdown, Ohio State.
That's a nice play.
Well, you take a look at Jim Karsatos. He's the last guy you'd expect to be running the option.
No, he has run the option the last 2 years from open formations, not so much from the close formation, but the goal line and short yardage attack. He will go ahead and run it as well.
Karsatos gets the touchdown, and Matt France is on for the extra point. It's good, and the passing of Jim Karsatos puts them into position for the touchdown. He is 6 of 9 now for 143. Look at the option play with Karsatos scoring.
Watch him draw the linebacker's attention as he gives the ball to Cooper, appears to, then keeps it. Now he comes down the line, might or might not deal it off. Corrington runs by it, number 10, and of course Karsatos steps inside of it for the score.
Terrific drive put together by Ohio State. 80 yards in 9 plays. The big play was a pass to Chris Carter on a 3rd and 17, and then the toss to Jamie Holland.
How you doing?
Jimmy Karsatos having some fun, telling his teammates, boy, I blew through there. But here's the key play, and it was Karsatos' right arm. With play action, just a slight fake to Workman, and then he finds speedy Jamie Holland down the left side. That's a 38-yard gain, 1st and goal at the 1 after a loss. The touchdown, Karsatos on the option. Pat?
A&M had this well defense. Here is Kip Corrington, and he is the free safety. He's going to get caught up in some traffic, and he has to step around the traffic, but he really should have made the play on Karsatos. Watch him. Now he has to step around the traffic there, and then Karsatos cuts right back inside, right here, when he overruns it. Good decision by Karsatos.
And that's what Karsatos meant by
Blowing right
blew through there. Got the touchdown. Pat O'Morrow will kick off for Ohio State. Rod Harris is the deep man, flanked by Ira Valentine and Mickey Washington. Harris wearing number 17. He's a sophomore, one of 14 players in the Dallas area for A&M. Into the wind, a short kick. Harris at the 21. Comes right, has some room. Out of bounds at the 44, right in front of his teammates. Tackle made by Sonny Gordon.
When you're in the kickoff team, you don't realize you're kicking so much against the wind, and it's going to be such a short kick. I think some of the Ohio State players ran right by Rod Harris, came up on a very short kick, and then picked up a couple of blocks for the big gain and puts their offense with the wind in very good field position.
Buckeyes need the 12th man.
Or 13, perhaps.
First down, 10 A&M. Aggies trailing 7-3, 14-13 to go, and they spread it out to the left side.
Nobody in the backfield.
And whistles blow as the pass is delivered. Flag is down. That's intended for Rod Bernstein. Procedure call, Texas A&M. Well, we're finally to New Year's Day. There have been a lot of bowl games played thus far. Boston College nipped Georgia by 3 in the Hall of Fame Bowl on the 23rd. It all started with San Jose State's win over Miami of Ohio. Then Mississippi edged Texas Tech. New head coach Mike Dykes at Tech. Alabama soundly routed Washington 28-6. Clemson and Stanford 27-21 in the Gator Bowl last Saturday. Arizona under Larry Smith defeated North Carolina by 9. In the Freedom Bowl, Gaston Green, what a huge day he had. First down and 15 now. And the handoff goes left. That won't go anywhere. Roger Vick with the tackle And Chris Spielman again. Chris Spielman had 29 tackles in the Michigan game, Era.
Unbelievable. He's all over the field. Here he is lined up as that inside linebacker spot. He'll wipe off immediately towards Vick. Vick tries to bounce it to the outside. Look at him ward off Woodside as a blocker and step in there on Vick. One of the best jobs they've done thus far against Vick.
Boy, Spielman's very good at the point of attack. I thought he was more of a chasing type of linebacker, but right there he was very good at the point of attack.
Right, he wiped right through Woodside.
Second down and 15. Saw the graphic with Spielman and Johnny Holland, two of the better linebackers in the country. They look for Bernstein. Here's the nimble-footed effort of Kevin Murray, and he's able to get only to the 40-yard line as Michael Kee, number 30, made the tackle. Murray is playing on an ankle that he broke a couple of years ago, and that right ankle of his is always swollen. It's going to be a problem for him the rest of his life, I think.
One of the things that hurt that pattern for Murray was that the linebackers, inside linebackers, knocked off Bernstein. He couldn't get through to the pattern that he wanted.
He was looking for Bernstein. Michael Kee, the inside linebacker, just turned as soon as he saw the tight end release over the middle and gave him a shot, and Murray had nowhere to go with the ball.
Kevin Murray got a medical redshirt year because of that ankle, and he is eligible for the NFL draft next year. One of the key questions this week has been whether or not he will come back for his senior season. And Kevin Murray says he'll decide after this game.
Looks like they're blitzing.
Indeed they are. Murray reads it, fires it on a line to midfield.
Whew. Well, I'll tell you, they've been burned every time they go ahead and try to get the Murray, and they can't. As soon as they see it, they get one-on-one. Here he just breaks down to the inside. Murray gets the ball to the receiver before they can get to him. Look at the blitzing going in there. Look at everybody's going, all one-on-one, but he gets the ball in there, but they're forced to punt because he didn't quite get the first down.
Here's Todd Shantz, a fifth-year senior from Richardson, suburb of Dallas. And that kick takes an Ohio State bounce back to the 12, but Shantz they use on the long-distance kicks. He's averaging better than 47 yards per punt this year. So Ohio State holds. It'll be the Buckeyes with the ball when we return right after this message. Ohio State leads at 7-3 on Jim Karsatos' 3-yard touchdown run, and they have the ball now with a new quarterback, Tom Tupa. And in the meantime, we'll go down to Pat O'Brien.
All right, Vern, thank you. It was John David Crow who won the Heisman in 1957 when he was a Texas A&M Aggie. The game is predictable, you're saying?
Well, yeah, Pat. I think that there's two good football teams out there, and there's going to be some scoring, and it's going to be some hard licks. The defense is going to play well. The offense is going to do some things that's going to hurt the defense. But it's going to be a great game. It has been a great game, and I think probably the Buckeyes being able to throw the ball as well as they have so far is a little surprising. But other than that, I think everything's going along pretty good.
All right, John, thank you. Back upstairs.
Okay, Pat. And there's Tom Tupa, Era. You've seen him a lot this year, too.
And he's very cool, poised. He can run the option, has a good arm.
First down 10. 6'5" junior from Brecksville, Ohio. And that works out to the 15-yard line.
I was talking to Chris Carter yesterday about the difference between Karsatos and Tupa and when they throw the football. And Carter said Tupa really throws a much harder ball, a lot more velocity. He thinks he's going to have to learn how to throw the touch pass like Karsatos does this year.
Oh, he's a great baseball player. And as a result, they like to hum that ball. And that's one of the things that got to quiet him down, give him the soft touch.
Second down and 7. 11:55 to go in the first half. Ohio State leads 7-3. Option play. And the pitch. Workman. Boy, what a nice job Chet Brooks did, number 27, to come up and close on the play.
Boy.
And there is an injured Ohio State Buckeye at the 15-yard line. Jay Schaefer is the injured player. Chris Carter, really a fascinating young man from Middletown, Ohio. Yesterday, we asked him if he could be stopped from his wide receiver position.
Yeah, I think so. Definitely.
How would it be done?
I don't know, but if I did, I probably wouldn't say it on TV.
He's also listed at 6'3". Got that tie loose.
Yeah,
he's listed at 6'3", and he told Pat and me the other day he's not quite. And you had an interesting story about height measurements, Mr. Hayden.
I was always taking grief about my height, but when the pro scouts came around USC to measure me, what I used to do is take knee pads and actually cut them up and tape them to the bottom of my feet. Lynn Swan and I did this to make myself 1.5 inches or 2 inches taller. So I actually came out 6 feet for the pros.
Wait a minute. You take the knee pad and you put it underneath the foot.
And you tape them, then you put the socks on because the Pro Scouts measure you in socks and shorts. And so all of a sudden I went from 5'10" to 6 feet.
So it's true about you. You're really a short quarterback.
That's right.
He's really 5'8". Well, there's dapper Earl Bruce walking on the sideline. One other thing about Earl in the week that they've had is Jay Schaefer has helped to his feet. There was a lot of publicity given to a comment that Earl made after the Michigan game about not wanting to be like Jackie Sherrill, and it came up in front of the press this week. And Jackie said, I understand why he said that. And Earl said, hey, they got me when I was angry. I just lost to Michigan by 2. And all I was trying to say is, I've got to be Earl Bruce. I can't be anybody else. And at a joint press conference the other day, Jackie blew up a balloon into the figure of an animal and presented it to Earl as a peace offering of sorts. I guess that's what he meant it for. Well, this is a tough break now for Ohio State.
Their offensive line, they came into the game hurt, and now they lose their second starter, Jay Schaefer.
Tim Moxley has taken his place, number 74. Auburn leading 14-7 fourth quarter. 3rd down and 4. Flags are down, and so is the ball carrier. Larry Kelm, number 65, made the tackle on Workman.
Vern, it looked to me that the right guard from Ohio State jumped, and this can happen when you substitute quarterbacks. There's a different cadence, a different feel when the second-team quarterback is underneath the center. And I think
dead ball foul.
Greg Zakharoff.
I think they also sensed that there was going to be a blitz because everyone was coming. The corner was coming, the linebacker went, and you get a little nervous on the offensive side to see all that action.
It's a dead ball penalty. There are no options on the play. It's got to be taken. A 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Okay.
I've known Jim Garvey for a couple of years, 5 or 6, I guess. I really think he's terrific because, boy, he takes charge of a football game.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
I saw him at the dance last night. He was taking charge of that.
3rd and 10.
Here they come again.
Blitz. Rod Sadler, number 99. And he came over Moxley, number 74, who had just replaced Jay Schaefer, the injured tackle.
A&M is much quicker on the defensive front. Ohio State is big, but 99 right there, Sadler, comes right back over the new player, and Tupa never had a chance to even see him. Sadler, who played sensationally in last year's Cotton Bowl game as well.
You see how injuries affect you.
Now Ohio State punts for the first time. Tupa has an average of 43 yards this year. 43.6, but he is kicking into this breeze at 13 miles an hour. Not good. Out of bounds inside the 30-yard line.
Here, I'm curious, when he is playing quarterback, is he as good a punter?
Well, I would say on the strength of that kick, no. But basically, I think that you can do both. I don't think he certainly wasn't exhausted, and you do get warmed up in a ball game. So I would think that later in the ball game, if it's hot and you get tired, that type of thing might affect it. But I just think that was one of those balls that just didn't catch, because I've seen him kick too many good ones.
Texas A&M 9-2 for the year. The only losses they have had, LSU and Arkansas, and they've got terrific field position now to the short punt. And off to Roger Vick, been the most active of the ball carriers for Texas A&M. Now, once again, let's check in with Pat O'Brien.
All right, Vern, down here with Jay Schaefer, they're working on him. He can't even move his right foot. He has a sprained right foot and a sprained knee. It is doubtful he will see any more action in this football game, and that's a big loss. Let's go back upstairs.
It is, Pat, because Jay Schaefer took the place of Larry Cotterman, the starter, a couple of weeks back, and now Moxley is in there, and they really are thin at tackle. And we saw what happened when Rod Sadler got the sack on the first play after Moxley came in. 4-man rush for Ohio State. Murray almost picked off. Boy, should have been. Michael Kee had an acre in which to roam if he got the ball.
Michael Kee has really been the defense here today. The difference today. Bernstein, the tight end this time, lines up in the backfield and goes in motion. The linebacker is going to come out and make a very good play. That is Michael Kee. He stopped Bernstein earlier in the game on an inside break. This time he plays the outside break and drives hard.
Just the kind of matchup that the Aggies want. Bernstein against the linebacker. But as you see, White 37 steps in there and almost gets it.
Ohio State is thus far winning that matchup.
Yes, they are. The defense has done a good job.
3rd and 7, blitz threatened, and they drop everybody. They rush 2 and send 9 back. Murray, a little confused, but look at all the time he has and throws it away. And he had Tony Thompson at the 5-yard line.
That was an excellent job of camouflaging what might have been a blitz, and then they dropped clear back out of there with 9 men, and then Murray didn't know what to do. It broke the rhythm of the pattern. Exactly what happened. You'll see that everybody, they appear to be blitzing here. All these people look like they're going to come. Murray thinks it's man on man. Probably called that kind of a route. Now look at everybody drop out. Murray's destroyed the timing of the pattern. He did have an open receiver here and overthrew it.
Scott Slater from 44 yards away and the wind behind him. And that is perfect. That's his 23rd field goal this year. Sophomore from Fort Worth, a walk-on prior to the season. So the Aggies do manage to get a field goal, but they had hoped for much, much more. They still trail by 1. We have a gorgeous day in Dallas today. Sunny skies. Wasn't always this way on New Year's Day. Remember 1979? We'll help you recall it. Notre Dame against Houston. And cold and ice and a wind chill of -6 were the stories on this day. Worst cold front ever to blow through Texas on New Year's Day. The Irish trailed Houston 34-12 in the final period. But Joe Montana capped a miracle comeback with this pass to Chris Haynes, 2 seconds left, and the Irish had a 35-34 win. I will remember that one, 1979, and we've been blessed with glorious weather today. And thanks to the Sequels from Akron, Ohio, and Happy New Year to all of you all. All of you all, huh? Sometimes old habits are hard to break.
Boy, my mother, I really appreciate that, Mom. Thank you very much.
I think they spent a little money.
That's my hometown. Come on, fellas. I mean, that's aimed for me.
Well, I've been to Akron once. Scott Slater getting ready to kick off, and deep man Everett Ross, number 5. And surprisingly, they decide to bring it out. And here's the 12th man in action again. Well, that'll fire them up even further. Rick Tankersley, number 20, made the tackle. Tell you something fascinating about this 12th man. The tradition began in this area 65 years ago today. Texas A&M was facing Center College, and D.X. Bible was the head coach. And a man named Dr. E. King Gill was a basketball player. And he stood on the sidelines. It wasn't in the Cotton Bowl. It was in the old Fair Park football stadium. D.X. Bible had some injuries, asked Dr. Gill to come down and get dressed in case he was needed. He never played, but that's how the 12th man started. And it was 65 years ago today. That's out to the 18, George Cooper.
Hey, Vern, how do you know all these Southwest Conference stories? You've been spending a lot of time down here, I know. I never heard any of those stories on the Pac-10.
I got to tell you, the nice symmetry to that story is that in his retirement, D.X. Bible and his wife built a home at 4204 Lulwood in Austin, right next door to Reverend M.L. Lundquist and his 5 kids. I'm dead serious. I got the 12th man story firsthand. I was about 14 years old. 2nd down and 4. 8:45 to go. Oh, quick opener to the left side. George Cooper, number 44.
Cooper's a good runner. The style of attack that the Buckeyes use, of course, is a tailback action and used mostly with Workman and Karsatos. But in this particular case, twice in a row, which is unusual, Cooper gets the ball, and he just great blocking at the point of attack there. And Cooper is going to be measured for a first down.
Yeah, I think when you have the offensive line that Ohio State does, and a big fullback, 240 pounds, you have to give him the ball. Johnny Holland, number 11, fights off one block, but by that time, Cooper had already picked up 4 yards. Good block there by 68 Unham.
And Ulenek is back in the lineup. He's playing with an injury era.
Yeah, I talked to Dr. Olix, who is their team physician, was a teammate of mine at Miami of Ohio, and he said that he would see action today. He has a stretched medial collateral ligament. My son will understand that. He's in Tucson, an orthopedic surgeon, and I want you to know how much I know about it.
First down, Ohio State. And they go with a straight T once again. And this is not in a short yardage situation. To the fullback. Cooper with a nice handoff. That goes to Cooper.
And on the play was number 44, George Cooper.
7:59 to go in our ball game in the first half. Coming up at halftime, College Football 86, some magic moments. You'll really enjoy that. A look back at the year. Irv Cross will preview the Chicago Bears, and we'll have all the pageantry of the Cotton Bowl. Jim Nance is here to host the halftime show. And that's 7 minutes and 38 seconds from now. Second down and 8. Tupel with a play fake. Incomplete at the 35. Intended for Ed Taggart, the tight end, number 80. And Alex Morris, number 30, putting a little pressure on. Somebody got confused when he put his shoes on this morning.
Well, he is the punter. And because of the new, this punters are superstitious, as we all well know. And the first time they wear the red shoes, he doesn't trust it on his right foot. So he's got his old punting shoe there.
Boy, he's not going to make the cover of Gentleman's Quarterly like that. But he's easily identifiable for us. He's the guy with...
Here they come again. No.
They fake the blitz. Tupa. Oh, what a pass. Chris Carter. From Middletown, Ohio, out of bounds at the 2-yard line.
Chris Carter is in the slot, but the key here is how much room, how much cushion he has. You see how much room he has here? It's an easy outbreak for him. You got to put a little bit more pressure on him. And if you're going to single cover him, you have to blitz. There wasn't a blitz there, and there wasn't really any underneath coverage outside. That left Carter wide open. That's too much for a strong safety, Morris, to cover.
He probably was afraid of Carter going deep on him. I'd rather give him that than the big one because Carter can go.
7-6, Ohio State has the lead with 7:24 to go first half. The fullback, George Cooper, number 44 from Wyandotte, New York, and Steve Bullitt, number 66, makes the tackle for the Aggies.
Looks to me like Tupa's trying to set up the option plays, giving the ball twice in the last 3 plays, and then going to come to the outside.
One of the things the option play does, Era, is force the defensive secondary to come up and play run support, too, and I think that has to help Carter get open some. When you get the defensive backfield involved in run support, it's got to help your wide receiver.
Well, the whole offense is predicated on that. The tailback action, the belly action, and then set up the passes for him.
Second down and 6, Ohio State. Jamie Holland in motion. Here's the option. Workman coming left, chased by Maroon and White, and knocked out of bounds at the 47-yard line by Kip Corrington, number 10.
You could just smell that coming because this is a sequence football team. They like to set things up. This time, of course, now they fake the ball to Cooper, and Tupa comes down, and he's predetermined he's going to pitch the ball out. Workman doesn't quite have enough leverage at the corner, and Corrington brings him down just shy, I think, of the first down.
But again, you see the free safety had to make the play.
Update, Auburn gets a safety on Southern Cal, 16-7 now in the fourth quarter. Third and less than a foot. Double tight end set. And at least for the moment, the I formation. Listen to Tom Tupa. Quarterback keeper. And that shouldn't be enough to move the chain.
That's a good call there, too. I like that in short yards. You have Bob Maggs, your center, 292 pounds. You have a 6'5 quarterback, over 200 pounds, and all you need is a yard. You just follow the center. Here's a ground-level look at what happens here. The center right in the middle of your screen, he just charges right ahead, and Tupa has a sense just to follow him. It's an easy play, wedge blocking by the offensive line. You got to pick that up about 95% of the time.
Going into the win, this has been a most impressive Ohio State drive. And they have the total offense lead thus far. The blitz is threatened by the Aggies. See if they're coming. They are. Quick step. And if that doesn't get completed, it might have gone for a bundle. Chet Brooks almost picks it off in front of Nate Harris.
Boy, did he took a chance, but he knew that with the blitz on that he'd have to get the ball to him quickly. He'll step in there, but watch this. They know the blitz is on. Here comes the corner right there. There's the throw by Tupa very quickly, and he steps right there. Brooks almost gets to it, but by the same token, it could have gone the other way with Harris, 26, if he had not gone down.
Carter and Harris between them, 65 catches plus 24. Second down and 5. And again, the Aggies threaten the blitz. Pitch out, right side, the short side of the field. Workman, first down, Ohio State. Jeff Brooks makes the tackle.
I don't think the Aggies expected as much option from this football team. This is kind of a surprise to them. I'm sure they worked on the tailback action and stopping Chris Carter, but now they're running the option play against them, and they probably aren't properly defensed for it.
Is this something they've not shown that much of this year?
That's right, exactly. Well, they ran a little bit earlier in the year, but the last part of the season was the running of Workman on just power plays and the passing of Karsatos to Carter.
7-6 to score, 5-12 remaining first half. Ohio State with the lead and a first down. Jamie Holland in motion, play fake. Cooper looking left toward Holland and fires it toward Jamie Holland, and it's bobbled and picked off. Larry Kelm, number 65, on the rebound. His first interception this season.
Now, is there any question in your mind that Tupa can't throw the ball? I mean, he got that ball there right now. It may have been too hot to handle.
And also, I think perhaps the sun was involved a little bit too. Jamie Holland, number 6, is the man in motion here. He's going to come down and make the play. And there's a big little gap right here in the middle. Right here is where he's stopping. The ball is thrown, and he loses, I think, somewhat the ball in the sun, but the ball easily should have been caught. Kelm trailing makes the interception.
That is the second interception. And watch the end of it and the rebound, the alert reaction now from Larry Kelm as Holland has it go up in the air, tips it again, and Larry Kelm fields it like a center fielder. And the Aggies get their second interception of the first half. 4:57 to go. 2 Ohio State turnovers thus far. Kevin Murray with the Aggies, right on target. Tony Thompson, the sophomore from Houston, is tackled by Michael Kee. Be interesting now, fellas, to watch A&M on offense, because I think we agree that this is one of the few decent performances Kevin Murray's had in this first half.
Well, here he finds Tony Thompson. This is a nice adjustment by A&M because they tried earlier to try to get the ball to Bernstein an awful lot. Ohio State did a marvelous job of taking the tight end away, so they counterpunch and come back with Tony Thompson, number 80, over the middle. Remember, we said one of the key matchups at the top of the game, number 29, Bernstein on the inside linebackers. Michael Kee, number 30 for Ohio State, has won that job.
He's done an excellent job, but when you put 5 guys out, Murray can hit any one of those. He's featured Bernstein, of course, and Woodside, but now they've been defensed well. He's going to go to other receivers.
We're live in the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. Ohio State leads Texas A&M 7-6. Vern Lundquist, Eric Parseghian, Pat Hayden. We've got Pat O'Brien and Jim Nance with us as well. The Aggies have a first down and 10, and Keith Woodside breaks loose to the 42. David Brown hit him first. Chris Spielman came up next.
They can give you power football, too. This is the nice thing about A&M. We've seen a lot of finesse here. The right guard, Fontenot, 67, gets a real nice block, and Vick clears the way for Woodside, too. But it makes them difficult to defend. The finesse. They run a little pitch play outside, and then they come right inside, too, with some power.
You're right, Pat. Vick did a nice job on Kee.
Second down, about a foot. Woodside sets up left side, up the middle. Roger Vick to midfield. Tackle made by the freshman safety, David Brown, number 27.
As far as A&M strategy is going here, they have 3 timeouts left with 3:41. What they would like to do, obviously, is control the clock and then get in for the score. We talked about Michael Kee, number 30. Here he just gets caught in some traffic. And you see Roger Vick, he breaks tackles. You can't arm tackle him. You need some help.
It's his quickness off the ball. He really moves. From up here, he looks faster than any back I've seen.
Rebel E5 is enthused by what's going on, the mascot of A&M. Murray, little soft flip, Woodside, left side, out of bounds. First down, Aggies.
You can't, that's that mismatch you were talking about. You wound up with Woodside trying to be covered by Kee. It's almost impossible. That's what they look for. They look for the... Kee will be in here, number 30, trying to chase across here with him coming out of the backfield. And he gets about 2 or 3 steps up on him right now. Watch. He gets caught in the traffic there a little bit, but right now Kee is beat. You see that? Woodside has leverage on him.
So the tight end actually picked Kee, number 30. The tight end Bernstein got in Kee's way. He couldn't get out in the flat to cover Woodside.
That's the first catch today for Woodside. Good for 16 yards and an A&M first down. Here's the option. And a dangerous pitch, and Vick is hit for a loss by the defensive captain, Sonny Gordon, number 7.
Boy, did a good job of coming up to support.
Well, there were two great plays there. Vick actually catching the pitch, and then Sonny Gordon coming up and making the stop.
Yeah, he did field the ball well. The ball was thrown beyond him and up a little bit high. He did a good job on it. Here he's coming out with a little ankle sprain, maybe. Here's
the first thing. Watch Vick, because this ball is way out in front of him. He does a nice job of just hanging onto the ball. And Sonny Gordon, who's been terrific on support all year long from the strong safety position.
Typically, it was Chris Spielman who put the pressure on the quarterback. And now Ira Valentine is the A&M fullback. 4-man rush for Ohio State. Oh, what a pass by Murray. What a gorgeous pass. It's incomplete. But boy, did he have that on the mark to Tony Thompson.
He had him open.
I'll tell you what, Era, I am very, very impressed with this Ohio State pass defense scheme here today. You see the inside linebackers taking the underneath routes. And number 3, Sean Bell just drives on the ball and keeps Tony Thompson from connection. That's good coverage, both underneath and downfield.
And the very thing that we talked about at the top of the show, about the most important thing as far as this game is concerned, was the ability of the Buckeyes to try to contain this great offensive team. Thus far, they've done a good job. A lot of time in the game, though.
3rd and 12, A&M. They trail 7-6. Murray. Thompson's there. Pass overthrown. He was there, but only by a foot or so. Tony Thompson, the intended receiver.
Watch Bernstein come out of here as a tight end and come right down to the post and see how open he is. Murray misses him. He releases right off the line. There he goes, right there. Look at him right in the seam. But I think the defender may have been responding to Murray's pass and moving to the ball.
53-yard attempt now for Scott Slater. He's 2 of 2 today. Has the wind behind him. That's got plenty of distance. And it's no good to the right. So Scott Slater is 2 out of 3, and an opportunity for the Aggies to go back on top, at least momentarily, goes by the wayside. 2 minutes and 15 seconds to go, first half. Excellent Ohio State defensive effort so far.
Pat O'Brien on the Texas A&M side. That's Roger Vick there. They're working on his right ankle. He has sprained his right ankle, but the timing is okay because they're going to look at it through the halftime. They think he will be in for the second half, and that's an important one. Let's go back upstairs.
It is indeed, Pat, and thanks. And in the meantime, Texas A&M decided to try that 53-yard field goal. In not making it, Era, they've given up a lot of field position as Ohio State takes over at the 36.
Exactly. From a coaching standpoint, you just don't like to take that kind of a risk. Yet the field goal was worth going for. You had the win. But now you take a Buckeye team that's passing the ball well. They don't have to move very far to have an opportunity to put points on the board.
And the Buckeyes go with 3 wide receivers on first down. Carter to the left, the other 2 are wide right, and a trip set that they haven't used that much this year. This is a new formation. Pass right side is caught. Everett Ross, number 5, makes the catch.
Plenty of time here for Ohio State. They have 2 timeouts remaining, 2:08. And this is the kind of situation where A&M will probably give them a little bit more zone defense, and those receivers, and they've got some quick ones on the outside, can find some open spots. What I've been impressed with there, Ohio State, is they've been passing the ball around, and particularly the second quarter, they haven't just been strictly going to Chris Carter.
Right. They're a well-balanced team. They've run and passed equally during the course of the year.
2nd and 5. 2:08 to go in the first half. Cooper. Batted back in his face. Rod Sadler, number 99. Senior from Atlanta. Not had that good a year.
Now, if Doug Flutie is watching, even a tall quarterback, Doug, gets the passes knocked down. He and I were both upset about that. Announcers always say when the short guys get the passes tipped, but never the tall guys.
Yeah, but what's the numbers on those? I mean, is it like 30% or is it 90%?
You say that with a certain amount of emotion I haven't seen before this year.
So will Flutie.
3rd and 5. And again, The trip set to the left side. Reverse, Jamie Holland got it wide open. And he cut back when he might have gone to the outside and gotten the block on Chet Brooks.
Vern, that's a good point, I'll tell you, because it looked like he had beautiful blocking. It was well set up. He just couldn't seem to make up his mind which way he wanted to go. And he's got all kinds. You'll see Tupa come out here like he's going to roll out to the left, and then Holland will come back and bring it back to the outside. Now watch the blocking setup. You can see it now from this angle right there. Now look at the blocking set out there. If he stays down the sideline, he would have done much better.
Okay, to give Chet Brooks some credit there, too, Era. Chet Brooks did a nice job of fighting off a couple of linemen to make the play.
Yeah, they defended it well.
Ohio State has called timeout. They've got the ball in a lead of 7-6 with 1:53 to go in the first half. In the meantime, let's visit Texas A&M University. And it's really good to have members of the Ohio State University faculty and staff and the athletic department here with us in Dallas. We're in the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas, the 51st annual, with the Buckeyes leading Texas A&M 7-6, 1:53 to go first half. Ohio State has just used a timeout. They have one left, and the Aggies have all three remaining. This is only the second Ohio State University football visit to Texas in 97 years. They played here on this same field against SMU in 1977 and won that game 35-7. But other than that, they have not been in this state. First down and 10 now, and Tupa. The blitz is coming. Pass left. Oh, Johnny Holland had visions of touchdowns dancing through his head.
And this is what I was talking about, Era. The play-action fake in a 2-minute drill just does not make much sense to me, particularly when you're facing a blitz. Your quarterback turns his back to the coverage. Watch, there's a blitz coming. It's going to be a strong safety blitz from the outside, but he turns his back to the coverage in the play-action fake. It just takes a little bit longer to get rid of the ball.
That's a very good point. By the same token, right out here to your right, Chris Carter was wide open one-on-one.
But a 3-step drop, and he delivers it. You get him the ball.
Yes, absolutely.
Tom Tupa now 3 out of 7, second and 10. Buckeyes lead. They fake the draw play. Tupa goes deep, double coverage down the right side, and that'll be out of bounds. James Flowers was trying to climb up an imaginary ladder on that sideline to get the ball inbounds, but couldn't do it.
I think Tupa misread the coverage that time. He threw to the covered receiver that time. And you're getting a lot of pressure on Tupa. And this is because the history of the Aggies has been rush that passer. He steps inside. You see he gets a good shot there from Kelm, number 65. That's what happens to quarterbacks, huh? Is that what's wrong?
I didn't think I got so short.
Pat was really 6'3" in the ninth grade. Ohio State is 6 of 7 on third down conversions. Reverse, or the option rather. Workman, Johnny Holland chases him, and then he takes a belt from Jeff Hawley right at the boundary stripe.
A surprising call to me on 3rd and 10 to go with the option play. The option sometimes can come up with a big play, obviously, but on 3rd and 10, it's clearly a passing down. You've got a Chris Carter and Jamie Holland with 3 wide receivers. And good support again, once again, by the strong safety, Alex Morris. I'll tell you, the A&M secondary really has done a nice job.
Now Tupa lines up under center, and he wants to see what A&M has in mind, and now timeout has been called by the Aggies.
I'll tell you, that's terrific strategy there by Ohio State. They put Tupa underneath the center. A&M's confused, so they have to waste one of their timeouts. Now they only have 2 left with 1:35.
Now, they said they were going to do that with Tupa. Going back to that other the option play, anytime you catch man-to-man coverage where the people are being driven off, the option play is a good play, but there was good recovery by the secondary that time. Now, I agree with you. Probably the down and distance might have dictated probably a pass, but it is a good play to run against man-to-man coverage and a blitz.
1:35 to go. Jackie Sherrill, I think he's a little surprised with what's happened defensively against his team today.
I think that's true because they have moved the ball against virtually everyone they've played against.
This is an Aggie team that averaged, as we said at the top of the program, 440 yards per game. They have 155 so far. They are going to get the ball back one more time before halftime. Tupa will punt deep to Rod Harris, number 17, sophomore from Dallas.
Nice.
Now, where will they mark it?
Yeah.
At the 9. That's more than nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is superb.
That makes up for that 27 or 23-yarder he had.
That's right. Well, coming up at halftime, Jim Nantz will be here as your host, and he'll have a look back at college football '86, the magic moments. Herb Cross will look at the injuries that have plagued the Redskins as they head into the playoffs this weekend, and we'll have some of the pageantry of the Cotton Bowl. The Ohio State Band is here, the A&M Marching Band.
Well, there were some magical moments in college football in 1986, weren't there?
Yes, sir.
We saw a lot of them.
Now the Aggies, with 1:27 to go, trail 7-6. And Kevin Murray, who's been a little inconsistent in the first half, will pitch it out on first down. Keith Woodside runs into Mike McCray, number 99, who was in there in place of Derek Eisenman.
Yeah, Kevin Murray has been a very good quarterback in 2-minute drills and bringing a team from behind. Here you're just going to see number 33 Woodside on the pitch, just a power play. But A&M's been a good team coming from behind in 2-minute drills. They beat Baylor with a touchdown pass with 3 seconds left. They came from behind and scored against SMU late in the ball game as well.
They are not a team that worries about a deficit. 51 seconds to go. The handoff up the middle. Keith Woodside runs into Spielman and Michael Kee, the 2 inside linebackers.
If I was Ohio State, I'd take a timeout immediately here. It's 3rd down and long. Get the ball back, but they're going to run the clock down.
Ohio State should call timeout.
Yeah.
They've got one left.
Force them to punt.
Now they'll be able to run the clock down. Now it's 26 seconds.
I think that's a mistake. You force them to punt, try to block it, or maybe set up a return.
Absolutely. The field position is yours.
Well, in retrospect, would you both agree that the key to this first half has been the Ohio State defensive unit?
I don't think there's any question about it. The question is that we came into the ball game, and the first half has definitely been a success for Ohio State.
Ira Valentine gets the last carry of the first half of the 51st annual Cotton Bowl Classic, and Chris Spielman makes the tackle. Well, I said last half. Now there is a player down for A&M. That's the center, Matt Wilson, a senior who is going to face off-season knee surgery. And Wilson will be helped off the field. They can ill afford to lose him. He's been a stalwart in that offensive line. In the first quarter, the A&M touchdown drive. Here is the big play, Era.
This was a big one. Karsatos threw a beautiful pass to Harris. It's off their favorite run-action pass. And you see him step inside, and there's the ball beautifully thrown to Harris, number 26. Setting up this touchdown in the option play, faking the ball to Cooper, coming on down the line. Karsatos making the decision to step inside as Torrington 10 overruns the play.
And now with 4 seconds remaining in the first half, Todd Shantz is on. There's a little pressure on Shantz, and he sails one all the way back to the 26-yard line. Well, that's why they call him the long-range butter. Jim Nantz coming up in just a moment. We'll be right back after this message and a word from your local stations. 7-6 Buckeyes at the half. Roger Vick injured just prior to the half. Let's get an update from Pat O'Brien.
All right, Vern, when we last saw Roger Vick, he was on the sidelines nursing a right sprained ankle. I just spoke to Jackie Sherrill. He said Roger Vick should play in the second half. Let's go back upstairs.
There is Roger Vick.
Boy, that makes a big difference because Vick is such an important part of their inside running game. Again, he's 220 pounds. They need him. Again, we have a close ball game here, and A&M just can't get impatient.
A&M will return the opening kickoff in the second half. Pat O'Morrow getting ready to kick off for Ohio State. Mickey Washington, Rod Harris, and Ira Valentine of the deep men. 7-6. There is Rod Harris out of Dallas Carter High School. Starting wide receiver, though, did not start today because he's got a fracture, one of the small bones in his hand.
I find that kind of funny. They don't start him at receiver yet. He's back on kickoffs with a fractured hand.
That is kind of strange. 50 degrees in Dallas, Texas on the first day of 1987. And the Ohio State Buckeyes with a halftime lead. This is the 15th consecutive year in which Ohio State has found itself playing in a bowl game. At the 5, it's Harris. Gets it back as far as the 18-yard line. Tackle made by Brian Benio.
Harris on the kickoff return to the 18.
Take a look at the comparisons for the running backs, the key men for each team. Vince Workman with 31 yards so far. Vick with 52.
Also went on the tackle.
Wide receivers Chris Carter, 3 for 55. Bernstein has been held to 3 for 52. They've not been as much of a factor, either man, in the game as we thought they might. Ohio State has played well when leading, but keep in mind that A&M doesn't mind being behind. John Elam, number 57, is the setter to start the second half. Wilson's out with an injury. And Vick is in the starting lineup, but might not want to be for very long.
Roger Vick carries to the 20.
Lee made the tackle.
He starts the second half and gets the big hit by number 30, Michael Kee, on the inside. Again, one of the things that A&M felt they could do was pitch the ball back to Vick and let him pick a hole inside. There's absolutely nothing there to go. Darrell Lee, number 95, did a great job of getting some penetration until he got some help from the inside linebackers.
Second down and 8. 7-6, Ohio State leads. Bernstein in motion. Blitz is coming. May have come before the snap. Or they may have been drawn off.
You know, I think Ohio State is going to try to regain the momentum that they had with 9 straight wins, and then they lost by 2 points to the Michigan Wolverines. Now, they've played an excellent first half, but the third quarter of the Ohio State-Michigan game was the one that really took a toll on this football team.
Matter of fact, Earl Bruce told us, Aaron Path, that the one factor about his team that he'd really been concerned about, here's Jim Garvey.
The offensive player reacted to the defense in the neutral zone. There is no foul.
I knew he'd have the answer. Earl Bruce told us earlier this week that his one concern was the letdown of his defensive unit in the second half.
That's exactly right, and that's what happened. So this is a very important quarter for the Buckeyes.
And Jackie Sherrill, now in his 5th year as Texas A&M's head coach and athletic director. Second down and 8. And John Elam, number 57, has replaced Matt Wilson. That'll be a key offensive line spot for the Aggies. Well,
wow. Again, flags down before the ball is snapped.
motion call against A&M. Coming up at the conclusion of today's CBS Sports College Football broadcast, Pat and I will be participating in a 16-year tradition, selecting a Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the Game from each of the teams. Chevrolet donates a $1,000 scholarship to the General Scholarship Fund of each school.
Pat, didn't you think there were some open receivers for the Aggies in that first half, and that Murray overthrew or underthrew?
Because there's some pressure on it. Ohio State did a very good job of pressuring him.
2nd and 8. And it'll be 3rd and 8. He's off to a slow start in this half.
Again, but the adjustment here, you see, they tried to go to the outside receiver just like I talked about. Shea Walker, number 85, that's the first ball that has been thrown his way. And if they're taking away your tight end, your halfback, that's what you have to do. But now A&M faces, here it is, the throw to the outside to Walker. But he was still well covered by Rogan, number 29. A&M, though, Era, finds itself in 3rd and 13. That's not the kind of team they are. They were in 3rd and 4 an awful lot this year.
This Buckeye defense has held opponents to only 32% of 3rd down conversions. And here's Murray with a little bit of pressure, intercepted. Picked off by Chris Spielman. And he might get in. Touchdown. Touchdown, Ohio State. Spielman with his 5th interception this season.
Which is remarkable for a linebacker. It's incredible.
Matt France to extend this Buckeye lead. (14-6).
Spielman, the All-American linebacker, number 36, dropping back into his zone. This is his 5th interception, as Vern has talked about. Look at him steal the ball. And there he goes, not only only can he intercept the ball, but he can run with it. He looks like a running back right there. He's got 4.6 speed at about 235.
He's a 20-year-old junior out of Massillon, Ohio. As a junior, a finalist for the Butkus and Lombardi Awards. You think he won't be a heavy favorite next year? This is called Let's Impress the Voters on the first day of 1987. A 24-yard touchdown return with the intercepted pass. Chris Spielman in the end zone. Ohio State leads it 14-6 in the Cotton Bowl Classic. Rather sizable Ohio State contingent thrilled with what they just saw. You'd like to look at it again, and we'll let you. Here's Chris Spielman, Pat.
Great players have great instincts. Chris Spielman has those. Watch as he looks to his right first. He looked to his right to get a feel. There's nobody there. Here's the look to the right. Then you're going to see him come back left. Nobody there. Then he reads the quarterback, steps right in front of the receiver. That is a sensational play by Spielman as he reads, looks right, looks left, follows the eyes of the quarterback, and gets himself into the end zone. Boy, I like to see that.
He says
so does Earl Bruce.
I like Spielman's ambition in life. He's got a moderate goal. He wants to be the best linebacker that ever played.
He's on a start for it.
That's right. Rod Harris getting ready to return the kick for the 4th time. And Pat O'Moro getting ready to kick off. That will go left. And out of bounds. Touchback. It'll come out to the 20.
A&M needs to just pick up, I think, a few first downs. They just don't have any sense of rhythm out there. They're not getting much on first down, you know, and they're finding themselves in 3rd and 8 and 3rd and 9.
As you pointed it out, Murray is not having a great day. Even with the out pattern, he threw the ball into the ground. He needs to get his confidence back. Certainly that Spielman interception's got to shake it a little bit. I would think they'd try to establish Vick here, just as you pointed out.
See what they do on first down from the 20, trailing by 8. Tony Thompson starts in motion to hand off to Woodside, number 33, Keith Woodside, junior from Vidalia, Louisiana, and he runs into the ever-present figure of Chris Spielman.
You go back to the basics, as Darrell Roy used to say, we're going to dance with who brung us, and you still got to go back to the wide-open possession passes that they've had a lot of success with. I don't know whether they had an opportunity to make the kind of adjustments that are necessary, because they may be seeing some looks here against the Buckeyes that they didn't anticipate.
Saw the LSU lead over Nebraska early, 2nd down and 7.
Boy.
Woodside weaves through some traffic and gets out to the 31 for a first down. It's Roger Vick, not Woodside, number 43.
Was that Lee that jumped in there on Murray and almost forced a bad pitch?
He certainly did. Darrell Lee, number 95, quick penetration on the inside. It was all over Murray's back. Watch, number 95 jumps in right now. Murray pitches the ball low. A good catch there by Vick to keep the ball again, and really just picks up the first down there.
He just jumped right inside of Trace McGuire, number 61. And it was right in Murray's lap.
First down 10, A&M. Split backs, 2 wide receivers to the right, and Murray with a straight drop back. That's on target at the 34-yard line.
Well, it really wasn't on target
okay.
Because if he catches that ball, he should be able to turn back upfield. It was a ball thrown too low and a little bit to the outside.
Looks like he's rushing it a little bit. I'm talking about Murray. As he goes to throw, he sees a receiver, and he's so anxious to get the ball there. Seems as if he's rushing it, and his timing is off a little bit.
He's now 6 out of 15, but only for 82 yards in that critical pass interception just a moment ago. 2nd down and 6. They come to the left side. Roger Vick breaks 2 tackles. Across midfield to the 47-yard line.
His ankle's fine now.
Sure is. 20-yard gain.
The philosophy, watch the formation, first of all. It stretches the defense. There's 3 wide receivers, a little soft spot on the inside. Gets a nice block by Woodside, and Vick, it's a block on Kee, number 30, then breaks the tackle and takes the ball right upfield. You love to see a guy not try to outrun people, but take the ball right toward the goal line.
Darrell Lee, number 95, had him in the backfield again. Could have tackled him for a 1-yard loss.
Murray will throw on first down. Across the middle, Bernstein to the 40-yard line. No, is it intercepted? Yes! Sonny Gordon, number 7.
And his 7th interception.
Well, Era, if there are 3 guys around a tight end, like there were 3 white jerseys around Bernstein, you've got to find somebody else.
Exactly. He forced that ball in there. But you know, this secondary, this Ohio State secondary was underrated as they came into this ball game.
3 white jerseys there, Era, around Bernstein. That means somebody on the outside, one of the wide receivers, has to be open. Again, some inside work there. Actually, Murray had pretty good protection, but Gordon did an excellent job of catching that ball.
I don't know how he got that ball.
Jim Karsatos back in at quarterback to start the second half with the option play to get to the fullback. That's George Cooper, number 44, and he gets out to the 43. Watch once again from the end zone, Coach, as Sonny Gordon gets this interception.
I think he steals it from Bernstein. I think Bernstein had it in his hands right here, slides through as they come down, and watch Gordon reach in there with his right arm and bring it right into his right. That ball's on the ground. I don't think that was not an interception.
Incomplete pass.
That's a great viewpoint. Our cameramen and people at truck did a great job.
Karsatos, flag is down. You realize, of course, if they had instant replay in college ball, we'd be here for the next 16 minutes deciding whether or not that was a legal catch.
Well, in all, let's get this call.
Motion call against Ohio State.
In all due respect to the officials, because that was a very tough call. We couldn't see it from here, and they camouflaged one another, and it looked as if he did intercept the ball, but it is lying on the ground in his cradle of his arm.
Ball start for the offense, and that'll cost Ohio State 5 yards. Jim Karsatos, the senior, is back in as the quarterback for Ohio State. As we said early in the ball game, it was Earl Bruce's intention all along to play the junior Tom Cooper in the second quarter. There was nothing wrong with Karsatos in that second quarter. Indeed, he had played very well early. And here he goes deep and plays well in the third period. Nate Harris, number 26.
Karsatos stood in that pocket. You'd love to have that kind of time, wouldn't you have, Pat? And then great touches, he threw it.
Well, Era, you made the point about Kevin Murray a moment ago seeming rushed. Karsatos was a man who just was so relaxed there in the pocket.
You see right here, the motion man comes right down and breaks, but the key thing is the Carter guy. I'm sorry, the Karsatos poise as he throws the ball and waits for it. Look at the protection here. Great. Now he drops it right in there perfectly.
First down from the 31, a 14-6 Ohio State lead. Jim Bryant, number 41, the freshman from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania,
Jim Bryant, number 41,
is in the lineup in place of Workman. Bryant with 653 yards this year.
As unsettled as A&M's offense is, the defense has to come up with their own big play here. A&M's defense has to prevent Ohio State from getting a touchdown here, at least keep them to a field goal, because their offense is just still having their problems.
It'll be a second down and 8. 9:35 to go, third quarter. Buckeyes lead 14-6. Blitz is coming. Karsatos in the face of the blitz fires incomplete in the end zone. Alex Morris was right in his jaw.
And that's one way to come up with a big play defensively. Strong safety Alex Morris, who is now there. He is the man injured right there. Came from way outside, and this was one of A&M's game plans. Again, Karsatos turns his back to the rush, takes a little bit longer to throw it than if he just dropped back. And Morris is there to put the heat on. The receiver was open. Everett Ross was open because there was no free safety in the middle.
That's a business about feast or famine when you blitz. You either got to get to him and destroy the timing of the throw, otherwise you're going to get burned for a big play, and it could have very well been if Karsatos had been on target.
Earl Bruce fouling the sideline. Obviously pleased with his team's first visit to the Cotton Bowl. They lead 14-6. They do have a 3rd and 8 now from the 29. Let's look again. See if they gamble. They're coming. Quick screen. Nate Harris gets a terrific block. Oh, what a dandy block he got on the wing from the tailback, Vince Workman, number 42.
That play was set up beautifully, Era.
Timing was perfect.
It really was. 3rd and 8 is a terrific call against a team that has just blitzed you. What do? You don't get the sack, so you throw the quick pass. Right here to Harris, but watch the block by 42, Workman, who comes out of the backfield, blocks the defensive back, and that allowed him to pick up the first down. That's a sensational play.
Great block on Jeff Holley, who was the defender when Workman came out, and the timing, as you pointed out, was just absolutely perfect.
First down 10, Ohio State. Karsatos has been terrific in the 1 quarter plus 5 minutes in which he's played. 8 out of 12 now. Slip to the fullback, Cooper, who drives to the 10-yard line. Larry Kelm and Johnny Holland make the tackle.
Yeah, 84X coming. Yeah, 84X coming.
Earl Bruce just called 84X some pattern. X normally is your split end receiver, generally Chris Carter.
You also note that this is the first time that we have seen Earl Bruce without headsets and communication, so he must be has someone there passing on the information.
Now his wife gave him that new hat for Christmas.
Up.
Motion.
I think Karsatos came up. It was a call to Chris Carter. He saw 2 defenders to Carter's side and tried to get out of the play.
Dead ball foul against the Buckeyes. Ohio State now penalized 6 times for 29 yards.
I tell you, as well as Ohio State's defense is playing, Vern, I think they must make sure that he doesn't get sacked, Karsatos that is, or turn the ball over. Get at least 3 here.
Be a 2nd down and 12 after the penalty. Jamie Holland is in the lineup to the right side. They've worked with him on reverses a lot this week. He's in motion now and goes way to the left side. And Karsatos looks short, caught. Chris Carter, number 2, makes the grab.
Karsatos is having a great afternoon. I mean, he sits in the pocket well. He's getting a lot of pressure again. You see right in the slot here, Carter just driving off and then breaking to the outside away from number 27, who is Chet Brooks. And there's the throw by Karsatos right on the mark. And that's been the difference between Murray and Karsatos.
Arrow, what I liked what Ohio State did, though, was by sending in motion, they have forced single coverage on Chris Carter.
See what they have in mind on 3rd and 7. Blitz look from the Aggies. Motion call, Harris. Option play, pitch to the boundary side of the field. Touchdown, Ohio State.
Great call.
And watch a lead block by Jeff Davidson, number 50, who is starting in place of Uhlenhagen this afternoon, that got Workman into the touchdown.
That is a great drive, Era.
They overcame a couple of penalties in there also.
And they mixed it up so well. Run and pass, option.
Matt France on to try the extra point.
This is a beautifully conceived play on the part of the Buckeyes. Great call. You'll see the motion that will come right here all the way across the backfield. Now watch all of the secondary people all move out of position. Then they'll come back with the option play, fake to the fullback, and pitch the ball out. Look at them all move. There's a single coverage over here. Now there's the fake to the fullback to hold the inside. There's the deal off the... Now look at here, the blocking combinations out here to set it for the ball carrier. There it is. He steps inside, they wall off. That was a nice job.
That was a nice drive. It's been a nice game played thus far by the Ohio State Buckeyes. Sellout crowd gathered in the sunshine in Dallas, Texas on the first day of 1987. And that was a well-conceived scoring drive of 59 yards in 8 plays. Vince Workman got the touchdown from 8 yards out, and now Ohio State has a 15-point lead as they go for their first 10 victory season under Earl Bruce. They've won 9-3, so they've been 9-3 so often it's almost chiseled on his forehead.
7 years in a row.
Yeah. That'll be a touchback. And Earl Bruce looking dapper in the sunshine. Pat Hayden, you've been impressed with his play calling so far.
I don't think Earl Bruce gets enough credit. Everybody says he doesn't have charisma. Charisma doesn't win football games for you. Good coaching does. And I think sometimes people look at his personality and say he can't be a good coach. Folks, he is. And he's done it here today. And that last drive was just a clinic on play calling, I think.
No surprise to me. I've been a great supporter of Earl Bruce. Take a look at his record. He has the best record in the Big Ten since he's been in there. People don't realize that.
Aggies trailing by 15. Kevin Murray looking for a spark, comes left side and overthrows his intended receiver, Shea Walker.
Don't count A&M out of this one, though, because as we pointed out a little bit earlier, they're a very good come-from-behind team, and when you have as talented as skilled players as they do, you have a chance. They came from behind against Baylor and SMU this year.
They were down to Baylor 17-0 in the first quarter, winning that one 31-30.
Well, they've been more of a possession type of attack. They don't throw deep that often. They don't gobble up the yardage in big chunks. You see here 9-2 the last 2 years when opposition scores first. That's very interesting. A lot of football to play yet.
But you don't need a 340-pounder jumping offside.
You get out of his way, don't you?
See the Buckeyes back up?
My goodness.
Be a new dance, the Buckeye backup.
And I was amazed when they started to talk about how Jackie Sherrill was talking about how quick he is at that size. It's unbelievable.
You know, he looks like, to me, a little bit, and Doug France is going to take some objections, but he looks like Doug France when he played Ohio State a few years back, and then with me with the Rams. But very light feet for a man, 340. Sherrill says he plays like he's 240 pounds. And if you believe that, folks...
Light feet, huh?
We got a couple of bridges we want to sell you.
I want to know when he's going into the backfield.
Those are size 16 Hummers down there, light feet. Second down and 15, 7-11 to go third quarter. Swing pass right side. Calvin Whitfield tries to clear the way, number 54 for Roger Vick, but Scott Leach, number 8, was there to make the tackle.
The response to the Buckeyes has been great defensively. It looked like that thing was set up, but unfortunately for the Aggies, the support of the Buckeyes came right in and closed it down.
That's Jim Helms, who was a great running back at the University of Texas back in the 60s, offensive backfield coach, and Jackie Sherrill. They're trying to solve the puzzle, and they haven't been able to thus far. It's third down at 13. Murray has a man, Shea Walker. That's good for an A&M first down at the 37-yard line.
What they needed.
And Era, the nice adjustment again. If they take away Bernstein and Woodward, what do? You go right outside to Shea Walker, number 85, who's been a possession receiver. The key, though, was the protection. No pressure there on Murray. Ohio State decided to drop back and play coverage, and Shea Walker found the open zone there.
Well, you finally got Bernstein and Woodward.
Did I?
Yeah,
Washington Post will love me.
You retired the trophy. Here's Roger Vick, knocked down at the 35. Aaron, I've been backing away from that for 2.5 hours. Let's go down quickly to Pat O'Brien.
You know, you guys were talking about Earl Bruce's outfit. He looks like a young Mayor Daley on the sidelines. Well, let's give Jackie Sherrill some equal time. If you ever wonder why he's always wearing a white shirt, well, he always wears that white shirt. 21 of the last 25 games he's won with that shirt on. He says he's also got a coat that's 33-3, but it's all broken apart and you can't even get it out anymore. Let's go back upstairs.
Here's Kevin Murray. Finds Bernstein to the 41-yard line. Chris Spielman and Greg Rogan with a tackle.
You know, Era, if Kevin Murray will just look the Ohio State defense off, because those inside linebackers are watching him so much like he did there, I think he has a chance to come back and throw underneath. There he looked to his right. The linebackers ran to the right, and then he came back to the tight end.
I think that's a good point, because he is favored, had the tendency to hit Bernstein and look for him, and also Woodside.
Aggies have had a real problem on third down. They are 2 of 9 on third down conversions in the game. And the Buckeyes are threatening a blitz. Here they come. Murray reads it and overthrows an open Rod Bernstein.
Well, he's rushing it. Feels as if he's got to get rid of the ball when they're coming.
Rod Bernstein, top of the screen, he is the tight end, but they split him out some. Well, he actually ran in the slot there from the regular tight end position, but he got the inside pressure by Scott Leach, number 8, really caused the overthrow.
There's the punt by Todd Shantz and the fair catch called by Everett Ross. So the Ohio State Buckeyes have held And they hold on to a 21-6 lead with 4:51 to go, third quarter in the Cotton Bowl. This Cotton Bowl Classic is brought to you by Cotton Incorporated. The 1970 Cotton Bowl, one of the greatest ever played. Notre Dame making his first appearance in a bowl in 45 years, led Texas as the Longhorns faced 4th and 2 in the fourth quarter. James Street found Cotton Spire with a key first down at the 2-yard line. That set up the go-ahead touchdown as substitute halfback Billy Dale scored from the 2-yard line. Texas won it 21-17 in one of the great Cotton Bowl games ever played.
They're not doctors, lawyers, detectives, or cops. So what are they doing on TV?
Feel your fingers lifting my wallet.
Margot Kidder and James Reed play Shell Game Thursday.
We're live from the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas on the first day of 1987. The Buckeyes of Ohio State, the first Big Ten team to play here, have been impressive, and so has Earl Bruce.
You know, he may have had a good point, and I'm talking about Earl Bruce when he said it's possible that the Aggies had not seen the equivalent of a passing game such as Karsatos and Carter and company. And thus far, it's been true.
Karsatos so far, 9 of 13 for 186. Left side, Cooper, huge hole. Opened up by Bob Maggs, Jeff Ulanake, and Joe Stasiak on the left side of the offensive line.
Looks like someone's hurt down there.
That's an Aggie.
You can see the power, and watch it blocking right here. There's Cooper going through the hole, but there's no one there to tackle him until he gets into the secondary. And he is a load going in there at 246.
Boy, Aaron, Jeff Ulanake, number 68, really sealed off the inside very well for Cooper there.
Injured player is Gary Jones, and he'll be replaced by Rodney Anthony. Of course, Ohio State started off losing to Alabama by 6, and then were blown out by Washington. Tough to rebound from that kind of start. But Chris Spielman was asked, how did Ohio State manage to come back and win 9 in a row?
Well, I think that shows the type of character, the type of pride that we at Ohio State have. And I think the key to that was that Coach Bruce and his coaching staff kept confidence in us. In turn, we kept confidence in them, and we had good leadership. And you know, it's a matter of falling on your face and getting up and fight. And I know a lot of people around here are fighters.
Well, they've shown that not only in the 9 wins and the narrow loss to Michigan, but here before this sellout crowd, and that pass from Karsatos to Everett Ross was incomplete.
And I thought there may have been pass interference by Alex Morris, number 30. The official interpreted as being uncatchable error, but
I think so.
It looked like he tried to tackle him. I never can figure out why they say it's uncatchable. If you tackle a guy, of course he's not going to catch it.
Not going to get anywhere near it, huh?
You don't speak to that from an offensive perspective.
I do. I admit it. I've got a bias.
Second down and 10. Woods threatened by the Aggies. Rodney Anthony, number 8, is in the lineup now. Torrington on the sideline. Here's Karsatos. That one is picked off, out of bounds, incomplete. Jeff Hulley, number 2.
Yeah, it looked like he was out of bounds. There's that favorite tailback action. Take the ball to Workman. Steps back. Now he goes for the sideline here. And Hulley, I think, is out of bounds here as he catches the ball. He jumps up. Yeah, let's see. Way out. No question about that. Even I could have called that.
But you would have argued for the interception, though. One of your players. Admit it. Admit it.
No, if it had been my guy intercepting, he was in bounds by 4 yards.
Of course he was. 3rd and 10, Ohio State. They lead at 21-6. Jim Karsatos. 4-man rush. He's hit. Gets rid of it, and it is dropped. John Roper, number 83, put terrific pressure on Karsatos. And Ohio State will punt, and the Aggies, who have been standing throughout, began to wave the white towels. Tom Tupa back to punt.
Still plenty of time in the ball game with 4:13 left in this third period and 15 minutes yet. A lot of time for the Aggies.
Tupa's second punt had a very poor punt into the wind off the side of his foot to open the ball game. Rod Harris waits for it.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Now what? Harris. At the 9-yard line.
Never field the ball inside the 10-yard line. That's one of our favorite rules.
Should have been followed. 58-yard punt, 6 on the return. Ohio State on top 21-6, and they have the Aggies backed up inside their own 10-yard line. Vern Lundquist, Ara Parseghian, Pat Hayden. We've got Pat O'Brien and Jim Nance with us. It was an early lead for A&M as Scott Slater kicked a field goal to make it 3-0, but then Ohio State put together an 80-yard drive. Karsatos got a 3-yard touchdown run after a couple of fine passes. That made it 7-3. It was 7-6 at the half and 14 points in the third quarter already for Ohio State. Roger Vick gets the handoff, and he gets out to about the 12, and that's all she wrote. Is Mike Sullivan, number 67, helps make the tackle with Scott Leach.
Darrell Lee is really playing well on the front, and the front three for Ohio State. Once again, penetration into the backfield altered the course of the running back. Anytime you get immediate penetration in the backfield, you're going to have some problems. He's done that on 3 or 4 occasions.
He's given Trace McGuire and Lewis Cheeks, the right guard and right tackle, a bad time in there.
Second down and 8, 3:29 to go, third quarter. Draw play. Roger Vick, number 43, out near the 20-yard line.
Now that's a play we have not seen really from A&M yet today. A little draw play, one way to slow down some of that rush that Kevin Murray has faced today. A good call. Puts him in a second and short situation. Third and short, excuse me.
Take a look at the total offense for the two teams. Rushing, Ohio State was 68 yards, but 219 passing. And the Aggies have gotten 120 on the ground, most of those from Roger Vick. But the passing attack hasn't been there as we thought it might today.
The Aggies have only been giving 257 yards a game, and the Buckeyes have surpassed that already.
Well, Kevin Murray has seemed a little tentative ever since that interception by Spielman for the touchdown, too.
That's a first down for Texas A&M. That will be their 13th first down in the ball game. They've got it at the 19.
He has got a very strong right arm. He's a tough competitor, brings his team from behind, but right now he is hurrying his passes.
First and 10. Final 3 minutes, third quarter. On first down, puts it out. Roger Vick to the 33-yard line. William White, number 37, made the tackle. And let's go down on the sidelines to Pat O'Brien.
All right, Vern, a special guest, Y.A. Tittle, who was inducted into the Texas Sports Hall of Fame. Y, let's talk quarterbacks for a minute. What do you think of Kevin Murray?
Well, I think he's a fine quarterback. He's getting a big rush right now. I haven't really seen him play this year, and I've heard a lot of good reports on him. I've always felt that the best way to stop a passing attack is put the heat on the quarterback, and Ohio State's doing a very good job right now.
Okay, quickly, who do you like in the Super Bowl?
Well, I think the two best teams are playing this Sunday, and that's the
49ers and the Giants.
I think the two best teams, the 49ers and Giants, are playing this weekend. One of them will be eliminated. I really do, and I play for both teams, and I wish both of them could win, but obviously they can't.
Okay, Y, thanks for joining us. Happy New Year. Let's go back upstairs. We almost got hit by the ball there.
Yeah, nice dodging there, Pat. And Y.A., there's only one certainty here on New Year's Day, that Earl Bruce and Y.A. Tittle did not go to the same store for their hats.
You know why Y.A.'s wearing that thing to keep that head warm.
I noticed you had one in your suitcase when we walked in.
I got a little monkey's bottom back there.
Second down and 10. Roger Vick looks for a block downfield, gets it on William White, and is out of bounds at the 41. Chris Spielman comes flying across to make the tackle.
This is one of the first times in this game that I've seen some decent sequencing of plays here by A&M. We saw some power inside with Vick, then we saw a little dump pass to Vick, and then the option to the outside again. I like to see the sequencing of plays there.
A little draw play in there also at the start of this drive.
We spoke earlier about the 29 tackles that Chris Spielman had in that Michigan game. That's just an overwhelming number. Third and 2 with 2:17 to go, third quarter, and the Aggies trying to get something ignited. Kevin Murray. Incomplete. It'll be 4th and 2. Woodside could not hang on.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's 3rd and 2, and I know A&M is a controlled passing attack, but that's the time I like to give the ball to Roger Vick, 230 pounds behind Marshall Lamb, 340, trying to pick up 2 yards.
With 25 years of coaching experience, I agree with you.
But it's an incomplete pass, and now Todd Shantz, the 5th-year senior, is on to kick. That is an excellent punt into the wind. Everett Ross, the 19, and is down at the 25-yard line.
Everett Ross on the return.
Tackle made by Basil Jackson. 40-yard punt, 8 on the return. The NFL Today coming up Saturday. Jim McMahon will be on live. Bobby Beathard, the Washington general manager, will talk about the Redskins' injuries. And Brent Musburger and Terry Bradshaw will enlighten you as to what to expect in a playoff game. Then on Sunday, Bill Walsh's game plan will be dissected. Irv and Will report from the field. And Brent and Dick Vermeil will be there. 12 o'clock Eastern Time on Sunday. Jim Karsatos, 9 of 16 now. Hasn't hit his last 3 passes. First down and 10. Quick formation to the left side. They come to the short side of the field. Vince Workman, number 42, and he's out to the 26-yard line.
By Ohio State using Nate Harris in motion an awful lot. Again, it ends up in having Chris Carter in the slot right there when, although they ran the ball, Carter got single coverage. Nate Harris has been used a lot in motion era coming across the backfield.
Yes. And if they can get him singled up, look out for a big play. Now he's going wider this time, so it's unlikely that he'll be outflanked by Harris this time.
Second down and 9. Option play, Karsatos pulls up and goes deep into double coverage. And ill-advised pass for Carter deep as Alex Morris was the closest man to the ball.
Just weren't coordinated that time. I think that Karsatos thought he was going to break to the inside. They just got confused, I think, with the routes that they were running.
Mentioned that Jim is take a look at it again.
Well, Jim Karsatos, it's a dangerous position playing this position quarterback. And why so many quarterbacks get hurt is because of after they throw the ball, although that wasn't a big hit, sometimes you can go down in a heap and get some funny people rolling into your leg. And you see a lot of quarterbacks, even though they don't take big hits, getting hurt.
Those are Aggie fans. 3rd and 9, 1:19 to go, third quarter, 21-6. Ohio State leads. Nate Harris in motion to create the foot formation. They try to draw play, and Workman is buried by Todd Howard, number 73.
Now in the Michigan game, Ohio State, after really having a sensational first half, turned around and got conservative and did not possession the football, and of course Michigan took control. Now this is another example of it here. They were trying a draw, didn't want to take a high-risk play. Todd Howard, number 73, came in there and made the play, but I think Ohio State's got to continue what they did in the first 2 quarters, 3 quarters, if they want to win this game.
That 58-yard punt you saw on the right of the screen was last time out. There comes the rush for the block. There is no flag. There was contact made, but Jim Garvey was right on the spot. And there must have been a ruling that Alex Morris was blocked into.
Yes.
The punter.
He thought he was actually should have blocked it, and Karsatos feels rush. He sees 10 men up. And he gets the ball off, and then he gives you his Laurence Olivier. He didn't get hit there at all, but he did give you the Laurence Olivier and fell back.
2 Aggies hit one another.
That's Alex Morris again, number 30.
I don't think that was a Laurence Olivier. It was more like a Chuck Norris. 1st and 10. Kevin Murray. Boy, he just has not been there today.
Well, how do you settle a quarterback down like that? One of the things you can try to do is just get some short passes to maybe a screen pass. He hit Vick a little bit earlier on a little swing pass. That can settle a quarterback down. What he needs now is some confidence. You need to build that as a coach.
There's no question about it. He's rushing his throws. He had him wide open. He had no one to rush him. He could have run the ball for 8 to 10 yards and still threw the ball into the ground.
Murray came into the game completing 61% of his passes. He's 10 of 25, and here's the blitz. That one's on target. Shea Walker. That is not a first down. Well, wait a minute. It might be. Let's see where they spot the ball.
Good read and throw here by Murray as he reads the blitz. You're going to see a lot of people coming in, and he's just going to come down and run the outside route. The corner is playing an inside technique, which he has to against a blitz. It's an easy throw and an easy catch. Good read by Murray.
That is a first down for Texas A&M. 18 seconds to go, third quarter. Roger Vick, sweep right. High stepping again, another Texas A&M first down. And the clock stops with 11 seconds to go in the quarter while they move the chain.
Well, once Vick sees daylight, he really takes it. He gets a nice seam as they pitch the ball out to him, and when he sees it, he turns right through it, right there. A great block there by Woodside, number 33. And finally, number 27, David Brown, who's not that big, brings him down.
In the last game of the year, Roger Vick rushed for 167 against the University of Texas. He's now gone over 100 in the Cotton Bowl. Roger Vick, 109 yards on 20 carries, and that is the end of the third quarter of play. Ohio State, with 14 third-quarter points, has a 15-point lead. We're back at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, the 51st annual Cotton Bowl. It all began with the dream of J. Curtis Stanford in 1937. Vern Lundquist along with Eric Parsegian and Pat Hayden. Ohio State came in as a slight underdog. They've really put on quite a show, Era, thus far.
They really have. They got 21 points on the board, but the Aggies have the ball at the 32-yard line. They're a come-from-behind team, and it's still anybody's ball game because they can score quickly, and the Buckeyes have got to continue what they were doing before, not button up and become conservative.
And here's what the Ohio State defense right now, this is a very important series for them. For the first time in this half, A&M has some momentum. Chris Spielman and the boys have to come up and shut them down. A sack, an interception, a big play defensively.
And 1 point just to think about, subjectively perhaps, that 14, 15-mile-an-hour wind will be at the Aggies' back all quarter long. First down and 10 from the 31. Flag is down. Roger Vick is 2.
Roger Vick, the ball carrier, flags down on the play.
For the last 2 or 3 exchanges, there have been some heated exchanges between both players, and you can guess who's in the middle of it, Chris Spielman. And no surprise there.
See what the call is.
He is definitive, isn't he?
I'm telling you.
Texas A&M being called for an illegal shift.
Yeah. Now, some teams just have that leadership. When they get ahead, they just refuse to lose. I sense Ohio State is that kind of team.
Shift. 2 men moving on the offense, declined. 2nd down and 9.
Real good front runners for the Buckeyes.
Well, that's not front runners.
Well,
that's well-conditioned, determined people.
I understand. That's what I meant.
Come on, that sounds like a Trojan.
Thank you for clarifying that, Coach.
And that
the legend.
That sounds like a Notre Dame coach.
All right, let's go. Here we go.
Chris Spielman, 2nd down and 9. 21-6. Ron Harris out of the backfield, the wide receiver. Murray wings it, intercepted. Eric Kummerow, one time a high school quarterback. He asked to be changed to defensive linebacker, and he might be an All-American before he's through.
Talk about different defenses. Can you believe this? Kummerow is their leading sacker, tackles for a loss, and he drops it off and picks off a ball. That's how varied this defense has been. You see Harris in motion, number 17 there. Breaks across the middle, but this is just another judgment call by Murray, who throws the ball directly to Kummerow.
In a good defensive game plan, Kummerow started in a down position like he was going to rush the quarterback, then fell off into coverage.
Third pass interception thrown by Kevin Murray. 14:25 remaining in this ball game. 21-6, and the Buckeyes have the ball back with the senior Jim Karsatos at quarterback. Here's the option. It's left, or right rather, and it's George Cooper, the fullback. Tackled by Kip Corrington, number 10.
Here was the problem, Vern. Kevin Murray, this is Kummerow down here. He is looking like he's going to rush the passer. But watch him fall off into coverage. He's going to fall right back in here, and Murray doesn't expect him to drop back in coverage. He looks like he's rushing. He drops back, and the quarterback thought there was going to be a hole right there in the defense.
Is that the case of a predetermined pass? Murray knows where he's going with it?
He saw a hole there in defense, didn't expect Kummerow to drop off in coverage.
First down and 10, Ohio State. And they'll utilize the fullback again, George Cooper. Coming to the left side. Well, if there has been a story in this game, it's the Ohio State defensive scheme and effort throughout the day.
And it's still 13:42 left to go, but Gary Blackney, the defensive coordinator, has done a remarkable job. I talked to him again last night, and he felt like they were going to camouflage their coverages. He felt confident. Well, I had looked at tapes, and we had looked at tapes, and we thought, boy, they're going to have a chore stopping this team. But thus far, he really deserves a lot of credit.
2nd down and 7. Motion again. Harris coming to the left side. Play fake. Karsatos. Deep left side. Intercepted by the Aggies. Alex Morris to the 42-yard line.
He had him wide open. He overthrew him. It was a matter of execution, not strategy by the play. You look up here and you think, well, what kind of a play is this? But if you'll watch here, Karsatos, one of the few times this afternoon, makes a bad throw. He overthrows right here. You'll see a tremendous attempt. I couldn't quite see who that was. I guess it was Alex Morris picked the ball off. But it was just a matter of Karsatos overthrowing the ball.
And a first down for the Aggies, trailing by 15. The inside handoff to Keith Woodside, number 33. And he runs, as he has so often today, into the arms of Spielman and Michael Kee. There's Alex Morris, number 30.
He has played very well today. We've seen him rush Karsatos from the strong safety position, put some pressure on him on the blitz, and there he comes up with the interception. Almost blocked the punt as well.
That's his 2nd interception this year.
Thinking in terms of the offensive coordinator, and then Amity, are you going to get a little nervous about Murray throwing the ball, or are you going to try to run it in? Because he's thrown 3 interceptions already. See, there's 2 runs in a row.
That's a toss to the right side. Woodside, again, the ball carrier for the 37. 12 and a half remaining in the game.
But, Era, you made a good point earlier on. When you have a possession type of passing team like A&M does, the secondary really doesn't respect too many deep throws. They are crowding the receivers of A&M.
3rd and 5. Defensive change now for Gary Blackney's Ohio State defensive unit. By the way, his wife, Loretta, is hospitalized back home. She suffered an aneurysm some 3 or 4 months ago. We want to wish her and the rest of her family well. And here come the Aggies on 3rd and 5. They are 2 of 11 on 3rd down conversions. 4-man rush, good pressure, and Murray bobs out of it. Looks for a block and gets it. There's going to be a clip, I'll bet you, at the 30-yard line. And that will wipe out the first down. Oh, I'll bet you I was wrong.
You want to take that back?
I sure do. Re-rack the tape, man.
Well, Rod Bernstein, number 29, he does get hold. He's a tight end coming up the line of scrimmage. That's Ray Jackson. Oh, yeah, that is a clear hold. 47 Ray Jackson, a nickelback, holds him twice. Not just once wasn't enough. So he gets him a 2nd time. That ought to be 30 yards or something. I don't know.
Looked like a couple of marathon dancers.
He couldn't even stay with him trying to hold him.
LSU leads Nebraska 7-3 in the Sugar Bowl in the 2nd quarter. Our score is 21-6, Ohio State. But Texas A&M on the defensive holding call now has a first down at the 22. High formation. Woodside trying to follow the block of Roger Vick. Goes left into the tackle of Michael Kee, number 30.
See this thinking now. The Aggies now are keeping the ball on the ground. Even when Murray was back attempting to throw, he ran the football. He didn't think anybody was open, didn't want to take the chance. But they're trying to grind it out because I think they're a little shaky now because of what Murray has done thus far. He's been off target, a little bit off his timing. He needs a pass completion to get his confidence back again.
I don't know how much effect it might have had on his concentration or effort today. Kevin Murray did have the flu earlier this week. Complained about not feeling very strong. 2nd down and 9. Murray with terrific protection. Marshall Land won't let anybody close. There's the pass that's dropped at the 2. Tony Thompson, number 80. And it may have been just a little behind it.
Looked like he should have had it from up here.
Kevin Murray here, Era, did show some patience, which he hasn't shown. Only 3 men rush, 8 in defense. He looks right, and he's trying to find it, but now his receivers have to work back to him, give him a little bit of help. The ball was thrown behind Thompson, but it was catchable.
In the meantime, look at the tight end, Rod Bernstein. Help. Help.
He's got to work his way back to the quarterback, though. When your quarterback's in trouble, any receiver has to work himself back to the QB.
3rd and 9. The option play. Kevin Murray. Oh, goal A&M.
That's a great play.
Everybody came for the pitch. They thought he was going to pitch the ball. As he comes down the line, the support by the secondary is immediate, and it's going to be stopped. But Murray hangs on to the ball, fakes it, and then steps inside right there and runs right down to the 5-yard line.
And give Lynn Amity, the offensive coordinator from A&M, some credit here. That's the first time we have seen the option play where Kevin Murray has kept it on a 3rd and 8 situation.
Rod Harris goes way to the left on 1st and goal from the 5, and Ira Valentine, number 42, has joined Vick. Here's Roger Vick, does a somersault, fumble. Bernstein apparently has recovered for the Aggies at the 11.
Boy, he was hit in there, too.
Unbelievable.
He was spun around. There was contact. That was a great job of defense. Let's see who really gets that pop on him. He just turned Vick right around. Wow.
Sonny Gordon
coming in there. Oh.
Well, he has played well off the corner all day long. Bernstein, I tell you, Bernstein did a nice job of being alert and getting the ball.
Well, Rod Bernstein recovered the fumble. The Aggies have called time with 9:56 to go in the game. CBS Sports presents the 51st Annual Cotton Bowl Classic. Today's game is sponsored by Cotton Incorporated. Take comfort in cotton. Merrill Lynch. To Merrill Lynch, your world should know no boundaries. And by Mr. Goodwrench. No one knows your GM car better than Mr. Goodwrench. No one. We're live in the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas, first day of January in 1987. Ohio State Buckeyes leading Texas A&M 21-6, just under the 10-minute mark. The Aggies have the ball, 2nd down and goal from the 10. And Era, might they think, if they get in, about going for 2?
Oh, I'm sure they will. They've got 6 points on the board, and I think they're going to have to pass the ball to get it in unless they run Murray on the option again. They got to get the 14th point on the board if they score. And I think it's important on this drive that they get it in because it's 9:56 left.
Well, if they go for 2, they've had 4 2-point conversions this year. They converted 3 of those. 4 attempts, and they converted 3.
Rod Harris goes wide left again. You look over the shoulder of Michael Kee, who's had an outstanding game. Now Harris, the motion man. A 3-man rush, 4-man rush this time. Murray in trouble. That'll be intentional grounding. Eric Kummerow, number 14, who had an interception the last time out. And Murray is helped to his feet.
How's that hit? Uh-oh, mask.
Face mask.
That should be offsetting penalties because I think they called Texas for, or the A&M, the Aggies for grounding of the ball. Unless that was...
That may have been the cause for the grounding. That's it.
Kummerow.
Yeah, you're right. It's one and the same thing. There's the mask. The mask is first. Yep. He's still trying to get rid of it, but the mask is there, and it's the first penalty.
That's what we did not see was the face mask.
One and the same person, so the ball's moved up. 2nd down.
And it'll be a 2nd down and goal from the 5. Roger Vick to the 2-yard line. And Chris Spielman, number 36, makes the tackle.
Now here, when you have a Roger Vick and you knowing that you need a touchdown, you've got 2 downs to do it. I don't think you get impatient and throw the ball. I would take 2 rushing attempts to get 2 yards using my 220-pound fullback.
Absolutely, and he's got to go for it on 4th down and not kick the field goal, but go for the touchdown.
9:20 remaining in the ball game. 3rd and goal from the 2. Shea Walker goes left. Woodside comes in motion. Pitch out, right side, Vick. Touchdown, Texas A&M. That's the 11th rushing touchdown for Roger Vick this year. the decision to go for two, Pat, what will they try?
Well, I talked with Jackie Sherrill, and I asked him about his two-point play. His first one, what he would like to use is Woodside or his tailback in motion across the backfield out into the flat. He's the first receiver. If he's not wide open, he'll hit the split end on a corner route. But again, they've been very successful on two-point plays this year.
See if that's what they have in mind now. Woodside is lined up to the left. See if he comes in motion to the right. Here he comes. They look for him. He's knocked off his feet. They lob it deep in the end zone. No good. We'll go back and look at both. But first, Roger Vick's touchdown.
Again, 3rd and 2. You give it to your 230-pounder over Marshall Land, the right tackle, 340 pounds. Watch the body lean. Again, he was leaning forward and just drove himself 2 yards into the end zone. Now on the two-point play, Woodside in motion. Right there, he is the key receiver. Ohio State does a great job. They play zone down here rather than man for man. And that's why Woodside was open, covered quickly. Great defensive strategy by playing zone defense there.
And it was Sonny Gordon, voted the most inspirational player by his teammates, who was shadowing Woodside, forced him to go a little farther outside, and did not quite get the two-point conversion. 9:10 to go. Watch the end of the two-point attempt as Keith Woodside is near the boundary.
And it's such an important play, but it appears right as he catches the ball, watch this left foot right here. It appears that it's on the line, and he's out of bounds, but that requires now 2 scores rather than 1. What a big play that is, and a tough call.
And look at the position of the official, who was looking right down at the line.
Perfect call.
He was very decisive about it. There is Kevin Murray, his team now down 21-12. Scott Slater will kick off, joined by his 10 walk-ons. Everett Ross to return. Oh. And a flag comes flying on the near side of the field. Danny Belcar made the tackle for the 12-man kickoff team. Number 12. Flip.
Here's another look. Excuse me, at the two-point play. The man in motion here, they're trying to have him run right out here. They're expecting man-for-man coverage, and they're going to get a little pick play on the coverage man. Ohio State does a great job. Watch him. He'll stay right there. And so there's no one there, so the man runs right into the coverage. And that was a very good defensive call by Gary Blackney of Ohio State.
And after the penalty, it'll be first down from the 10-yard line. 9:04 remaining in the ball game. Aggie defensive unit trying to urge this multitude of supporters from Texas A&M on. Ohio State, 21-12 lead right now. George Cooper, number 44, into Rodney Anthony and Larry Kelm.
That is a big play there, Era. When your defense has just given up the score and all the momentum is going for A&M, you give the ball to your fullback. The center, Maggs, makes a great block. Cooper, 245 pounds of him, just kind of works his way through for 5 tough yards.
Matter of fact, make it 6 and call it 2nd and 4 with 8:35 to go.
Two-point play looms really big because it's going to require 2 scores on the part of the Aggies.
Jackie Sherrill trying to gain some emotional support from the crowd himself. Workman bounces to the outside, gets by Johnny Holland, picks up a first down at the 22-yard line. Chet Brooks makes the tackle, number 27.
It's exactly what the Buckeyes have to do. Maintain possession. Run that clock down. Hang on to it. Don't give the Aggies any more opportunities if they want to win. The Aggies are saying, hey, we got to shut them down, get that ball back for Murray and company.
Era, it's been their ground, their passing attack that's worked so well for them offensively. Do they pull in the reins now, though, and go to the ground?
Well, they did. They did a good job that time with it. Getting the first down in 2 plays was a very, very good sign for the Buckeyes, but still, I think you'll see them crowding I think the Aggies will start to crowd them a little bit. They had bad working field position when they had to run the ball. They may open up a little.
Jim Karsatos. Here's the quick pass left side. Nate Ross. That time the attempted block by Workman doesn't work as James Flowers, Nate Harris, not Ross, did a good job of getting around it.
Larry Kelm, number 65, from the inside, really put the stop on this one. Remember, this is the play they ran earlier when Workman, number 42, came down and blocked the corner. This time the corner comes up and takes the outside away, forces Harris inside, and Kelm, 65, makes the stop.
Second down, 11. Harris has had a huge day for Ohio State.
You should anytime you play opposite Chris Carter.
That's a good point. That's right. It's like being a second-team quarterback. It's a good job. Second down and 11. Karsatos audibles, and he's fighting the 25-second clock now. Calls time.
One official threw a flag. Now he's going to go pick it up.
Delay a game.
That's not the right call.
And Earl Bruce is on the field.
He has every right to be. Karsatos was trying to give him the sign that it was a crowd noise and he wanted discretionary timeout, and he wouldn't give it to him.
That's why I thought that the official was sneaking over there to pick up his flag. Karsatos turned to the referee.
But the Buckeyes are not protesting very much. Karsatos didn't protest very much.
10th penalty in the ball game. We're under the 7-minute mark. Second down and 16. Aggies are showing blitz. Larry Kelm, Holland are sneaking up in the line. See if they come or drop back. Brooks is coming, and they do drop back. Boy! I think all three of us saw that at the same time.
Terrific defensive strategy, though, by A&M. They baited Jim Karsatos into the audible. He thought it was going to be a blitz. He audibled to the quick out, and Jeff Holley, number 2, read it all the way. Terrific defensive plan there.
But not a very good reception.
The execution lacked something. Third and 16, 6:54 to go.
Boy, that catch by Holley could have heated this ball game up in a hurry.
You bet. Karsatos can't hear or can't make himself heard.
He finally gave him a discretionary timeout. The referee tapped his head, took his timeout, and I was talking to Karsatos about how he wants the play call.
The key, though, here was when the 5-yard penalty against Ohio State, it took them out of a rundown, put them into a passing situation. They'd never caught up.
And Jim Garvey is talking with Johnny Holland as Earl Bruce looks on from the sideline. I think Garvey, the referee, was asking Holland if the crowd really gets noisy to help them calm them down. And the Aggies are doing just that, the Aggie football team.
Well, the second call could be they could take a timeout away from the Aggies. But the crowd doesn't allow them to run the play.
Third and 16. And Karsatos has every right to wait as long as he wants.
You can't be calling audibles, though, with this kind of crowd.
You see, the Aggie players themselves are trying to get the crowd to quiet down and allow them to run the play. And now the referee is saying, okay, go back in the huddle. They'll probably come back on the PA and announce that they'll be taking away a timeout if it persists.
The next time that we have to delay the game, Texas A&M will be charged with a timeout. Please cooperate.
I've liked Jim Garvey for the last 7 years that I've known him because he takes charge of the football game, and I think that's terrific.
That's a terrific call by the official.
That's the rule.
Yes, but a lot of officials won't make that statement.
Oh, I've never seen an official not make that statement. They're all marvelous, aren't they? No, I'm just kidding, but...
Jackie is arguing with Jim Garvey.
I talked with Jim last night, and he hasn't done a Jackie Sherrill game. He told me that in quite some time, not since he was at Pittsburgh.
Earl's happy. Well, this is easier than playing at Michigan.
It went against him in his own ballpark against Michigan. Michigan did the same thing.
Third down. Now let's see if Karsatos gets it off. Now the crowd gets with it. Karsatos on 3rd and 16.
Unbelievable.
It's Carter, of course.
Guess who?
Jeez.
Flag down. And that is way back at the 18.
You know, you wonder why Jim Karsatos forces the ball sometime, because he really was pretty well covered. He drives him, and then the ball is actually hung in the air. It took an awful long time to get there. Holly is well defending Carter, and he tips the ball away from the defender, then makes the catch.
But it doesn't make any difference because there's a penalty. It's going to be called back. 26 on the line.
Nate Harris.
Made him ineligible. Let's see what...
Well, we'll wait for Jim Garvey to call it. Bruce is out on the field again.
It sounds as if he said that Nate Harris was on the line of scrimmage, made somebody ineligible.
That's 2 critical penalties.
Apparently, he's saying something here about Nate Harris, and here's your...
That's 2 on the line.
Oh, I see. Here
3.
he's calling. Here is Harris here, and this is Carter. He makes this man ineligible. No, here is the tight end right here. He's ineligible. If he releases off the line, then it's an illegal formation because he's lined up on the line of scrimmage. He stays in. Now there he comes out. It makes an illegal play. They've got a good call. Good call by the official.
And as a result, it wipes out the 20-yard first down play. And Ohio State now has a 3rd down and 21. Jamie Holland starts in motion. Here comes the blitz. Karsatos rolls out, puts it up incomplete. He was belted by a blitzing Chet Brooks.
And Tupa will have to kick into the wind. The last time he did, it was a 23-yarder.
Boy, big pressure from the outside. Karsatos felt it all the way. He was lucky, really, that ball didn't get picked off.
Just the thing that you said, Pat, that run-action pass down on your own goal line, you're back to the rushers, and he has no chance.
Drop back and throw it. No play-action fake.
You're coming after it.
15-mile-an-hour breeze in Tom Tupa's face. Rod Harris waits at midfield. Oh, they have the return on all the way. That's a nice punt. Harris, no fair catch, and is down at the 43-yard line. But the Aggies get the benefit of the penalty on what would have been a first down, a 34-yard punt, and the Aggies have the ball. We're live this afternoon on New Year's Day from the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas. Ohio State holds on now to a 21-12 lead, 6:32 remaining. Vern Lundquist, Eric Parsegian, Pat Hayden, along with Pat O'Brien. The Aggies get the ball back with a first down at the Ohio State 43-yard line. They need 2 scores. 2 wide receivers left, 1 to the right.
Reverse.
And a terrific defensive job by Scott Leach to mess that thing up. Number 8.
You know, they broke that play up. There was so much penetration that time. It looked like they were going to come back around for the reverse that time.
Scott Leach really read it, stepped in the backfield. There was no chance, and Murray did a nice job of trying not to force it and pitching the ball.
Yeah, he could have created a fumble.
That makes it a 2nd down 11. Chris Carter looks on. Any doubt in your mind, he wants to play basketball. Here's Murray, 11 of 27. 4th interception of the game. And it's the 2nd interception for Chris Spielman.
Great players play great in big games. Chris Spielman has done that again today.
Boy, this is another great job by Spielman. Number 36, the right side of the screen right there. And look at him step. Again, this is a judgment play on the part of Murray, who has not had a good afternoon. It's a combination of 2 things there.
Spielman's 2nd interception might seal it for Ohio State. 5:50 to go in the ball game. Fourth interception thrown now by Kevin Murray, the junior out of Dallas. That ties a Cotton Bowl record set by Joe Montana of Notre Dame in 1979. The good news for Joe Montana was that Notre Dame won that game against Houston 35-34. A first down now for Ohio State with a 21-12 lead. Workman comes left and picks up a couple.
Still 5:40 left. A&M again has a shot. Unfortunately, the quarterback is not a confident quarterback right now, but the defense has to stop Ohio State, force a punt, perhaps even try to block it, try to give themselves a chance.
And they just have 2 timeouts to work with.
Second down and 7 as the clock shows 5:20 remaining. Jim Karsatos playing his final game for the Buckeyes. Had a hot first quarter. Hobson played to the fullback. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 6 as we cross the 5-minute barrier. The 4 A&M pass interceptions have been critical. Spielman returned 1 for a touchdown. Another was picked off by Kumaro after the Aggies were inside the 30-yard line. And this one when A&M had the ball at the Ohio State 43.
Ohio State's turnovers obviously haven't been nearly as costly. This is the one down by the end zone in the first quarter.
4:35 to go in the ball game. Buckeyes lead at 21-12. Here's the reverse. Fumbled. Jamie Holland trying to get out of an Aggie jail. It'll be 4th down, and A&M will get the ball back.
It was set up, too, for a positive play.
It was going to be a big play.
Instead, it's a 23-yard loss.
And field position, as a matter of fact, on that last Spielman interception, one of the big things about it is that the Aggies had great field position, and all of a sudden it changed. And I thought if they didn't have a turnover, a mistake like they just had for 23 yards, it would have to go 80 yards after they punted.
4:12 to go prior to the 4th down punt. Timeout has been called.
Pat O'Brien in the Massillon, Ohio stands. That's where Chris Spielman is from. And I just spoke to Chris, and he said he's having the greatest time he's ever had. And do you want to know why he's such a good athlete? Well, maybe there is something to that. Let's go back upstairs.
He was in high school when that picture appeared, and he was voted upon by the citizens of Massillon. His picture submitted, and he won the contest. You're familiar with what
they were right.
About, huh?
Yeah, Dorsett's number on though.
I'm at the bottom of the Alpo cans.
They put mine on a sack of grapefruits back in '48. It's 4th down.
Watch the punt block here.
And 28. Rod Harris waits at the 40-yard line. And again, the return is on. Tupa into the wind. That's short. Harris comes up, lets it bounce, takes an Aggie roll, and picked off. That was not touched. Jamie Holland. Well, just in case. What the heck?
I don't blame him.
You know, it's my last game. Maybe they touched it.
That's a heads-up play by Holland. Wait till the officials call you back.
The official was looking at him like, what are you doing? Timeout's critical now. The Aggies have 1 left. 4 minutes remaining. Ohio State still with all 3. And Kevin Murray plagued with interceptions. And now plagued up the middle by Darrell Lee, the senior from Columbus, number 95.
Well, he was trying to fake a sweep or some such thing and slowed down. He should have known the rush was coming on him. Woo.
But Darrell Lee, number 95, has had tremendous penetration all afternoon. That's the 3rd time he's been over Murray's back. He is beating Trace McGuire, the guard, very quickly to get himself in the backfield.
Second down and 18. 4-man rush. Murray in between 2 defenders, and Keith Woodside makes the catch. But one of the keys, I think, fellas, has been the fact that until that catch, well, now with that catch, Bernstein and Woodside have caught 6 passes between them today.
You know, A&M right now, in my estimation, should be up on the line of scrimmage calling plays because time is very much their enemy. They're wasting an awful lot of time in the huddle.
Nebraska leads. Here it's 3rd and 14, and Kevin Murray back to throw. Intercepted for the 5th time. That's a new Cotton Bowl record. It's Michael Kee, and he's got 1 man to beat. Touchdown, Ohio State University Buckeyes. On to try the extra point after the 49-yard interception return by Michael Kee. In the 51-year history of the Cotton Bowl Classic, the previous longest interception return for a touchdown was that of Whizzer White. Colorado against Rice in 1938, 47 yards for a touchdown.
Darrell Lee, number 95, right here. He's going to get his arm on the ball as Murray is releasing it right there. That caused the interception. Darrell Lee has raised havoc all afternoon.
Michael Kee knocks Whizzer White out of the record books, and the Aggies into defeat. .249 remaining in the 51st annual Cotton Bowl Classic from Dallas. Ohio State now on top 28-12. This, of course, is the first day of the year, but the last day of our college football coverage for this season, and a lot of folks have been very much a part of the overall coverage for the season, and we'd like to thank them. We go back, Pat and Era, to the beginning of the day, and I think all three of us felt that the test was going to come for the Ohio State Buckeye defensive unit under Gary Blackney's leadership, and boy, have they responded well.
I think we were all on top of the story here, and Gary Blackney's defense, and I wasn't sure they were going to be able to do it because this team had been so efficient during the course of the year, but you go back to the statement that Earl Bruce made, he wondered whether or not the Aggies had faced the equivalent of the passer and the receivers that he had on this ball club.
And Vern, A&M really didn't adjust well. Once Ohio State took Bernstein and Woodside out of the game, they really didn't do a good job of getting the ball to the other receivers who were open.
And you saw the last credit there. It was that of our executive producer, Ted Shaker, who, along with one of our vice presidents, Peter Tortorisi, are with us at the Cotton Bowl down in the truck. And they have been key figures, not only in our continuation of college football on CBS, but the acquisition of new rights for the NCAA television contract in college basketball. Here the Aggies coming back, and Rod Harris slips and falls at the 31-yard line.
Well, Jackie Sherrill's had a very good year with this A&M team. Obviously, this one's going to end in disappointment. He's got a good offensive team coming back next year. He loses a lot of defensive players off of his ball club.
Yeah, I was here a year ago, and I think the Aggie team of a year ago was better than this. Of course, Jackie even said so. It wasn't quite as good, but they did win the conference championship and won a lot of close games.
And Kevin Murray is going to get to rest the final 246. The new quarterback now for the Aggies is Craig Stump out of Port Arthur, Texas. But he was a high school senior, one of the most widely recruited quarterbacks in the state. Tackle is, or the handoff goes to Roger Vick, number 43.
And the other side of the coin for the Buckeyes, they don't lose many players. Lee, who has played very well here, is the only down lineman they lose. Key, the linebacker, is the only one they lose. And, of course, Gordon. The rest of them are back on the defensive side.
That is an incomplete pass at the 42-yard line, intended for Shea Walker. There's the all-conference tight end, Taggart. And the rest of the Buckeyes, they have been very gracious in their acceptance of the hospitality of the Cotton Bowl folks here. The Cotton Bowl this year, the chairman of the board, Jim Ray Smith, and the president, Dan Petty, and, of course, the hoss, Jim Brock. And what a job they have done in providing hospitality. We've heard it over and over again from the Ohio State traveling party. How graciously they have been received on their first trip to Dallas.
And the Scovilles as well.
Field and his wife, Mary, and grandson John and daughter-in-law Diane. Keith Woodside, number 33, gets the clip to the 29-yard line.
Well, just to show you how good Ohio State's defense has been all day, you would think they would be laying back in a prevent type of coverage, but A&M is dumping the ball off, and you're still seeing 4 and 5 white jerseys around the ball.
Todd Shantz on the punt on 4th down. Final 2 minutes of the 51st Cotton Bowl Classic. Everett Ross, sophomore, number 5, out of Columbus, Ohio, makes the catch at the 26, and the Buckeyes will get it back one more time.
Well, the seniors at Ohio State era really have had a terrific 4 or 5 years, too. They've, of course, been here in the Cotton Bowl. They're co-champions of the Big Ten, been to 4 different bowls.
Matter of fact, in playing here today, they become only the 8th team in college football history to play in all 4 of the previous major New Year's Day bowls.
Who else?
Notre Dame has done it.
Yeah, that's
I
knew. A lot of people don't realize
I could have guessed Texas Lutheran, but when you looked at me, I figured it was Notre Dame.
Well, they did play in the Rose Bowl, and a lot of people don't realize that. And of course, the rest of the bowls, the major bowls, the sugar, cotton, and orange, since the bowl ban was broken in 1969 when I was coaching there.
First down and 10. Dive play to George Cooper. And Earl Bruce's team is going to finish at 10-3 and break that streak he had. It's a very good streak of 9-3 records. But they'll be a happy bunch traveling back to Columbus. And now 15-2-2. They are also, by the way, 3-0 against Texas A&M. They've met twice previously, once back in 63 and again in 70, but both of those were in Columbus. Bill Matlock comes in now, a sophomore from Columbus, number 11. And they'll run from the straight tee on 2nd down and 7 with 1:05 remaining. Jim Bryant, freshman. 3 full years ahead of him in a Buckeye uniform. And that'll bring up a 3rd down.
Well, he is back next year and obviously a lead. They have 2 contenders really on the Ohio State team, I would guess, for not only All-American honors, but the Heisman Trophy as well, Era.
You bet. Chris Carter and Spielman, both of them had great years. And there's only 3 seniors that are lost from the offensive team. Taggart, Maggs, and of course Karsatos. The rest of them are all back.
Final 30 seconds. And one of the happy contingent from Ohio State. Here's the pitch. Jim Karsatos is down at the 33. One of the happy contingent, Rick Bay, the athletic director of Ohio State. He and his wife Denise are here. And it was Rick and the staff that made the decision to come to the Cotton Bowl. And they have won it for Earl Bruce and the champions of the 51st Cotton Bowl Classic, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Wear that hat forever.
Then that suit and tie and shirt.
That's right.
Well, they used to call him old 9-3 Earl.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
10-3 has a nicer ring to it. How about the day for Jim Karsatos? 10 of 21 for 195 yards in his final game as a Buckeye. Enjoy the vacation in Acapulco, Jim. Let's go down to Jim Nance, who's standing by with Jackie Sherrill.
Coach Sherrill, it's got to be a disappointment not winning back-to-back Cotton Bowls, but this was not a typical Kevin Murray performance today. 5 interceptions.
Well, he had 5 interceptions in the second half. You know, there's no question that in the second half, some of those interceptions, he was trying to force the ball in there, and he's trying to get the ball in the crack. And, of course, the last one, his arm was tipped. I mean, and that can happen. But, you know, when you look what our football team, and we played very well the second half defensively, hung in there. We had a chance when the ball was 21-12 and we went for 2, didn't go, and then we still had a chance to come back. But then you throw the interception, and you're throwing 5, you're not going to win a ball game.
What one thing do you felt turned it around? What was the turning point?
Well, I think the biggest thing is throwing the interceptions. You know, turning the ball over is probably the biggest thing. But we're still in the ball game even after 3 interceptions. You know, but the 4th one kind of came back, but we still got the ball back, and you were out of it really going towards after the 5th interception.
Coach, congratulations on a great season. Let's go back upstairs to Vern Lundquist.
All right, Jim Nance, and the very happy Earl Bruce is standing by for the trophy presentation. Earl and the Buckeyes win the 51st Cotton Bowl Classic. We'll be right back.